Hello everyone, and welcome to this stream. I'm really excited for this stream in particular because we have some interesting things planned for it. Now I will tell you all about that in just a minute here, but we'll wait for everyone to join on. And thank you to everyone who is joining onto this stream right now. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. I know I have so far, and I'm really excited for the things we have planned for today. Someone said it's 2 a.m. for them. It's definitely not 2 a.m. for me, or I would not be streaming at this time, because I don't usually stay up that late. And we even have a super chat already before the stream's even started from Brandon Gentry, or Gentry maybe. It says, "Let's go, first stream I get to tune in for, so hype." Well, I'm so glad that you enjoy it that much. And we are now going to switch to the stream itself, to Minecraft. And if you give me 1 second here, we can start working on our project for today. So basically, as it does say in the stream title, we need to get better armor and enchant, because if you look at what we have, it's not very good. It's just enchanted basic iron. Some of these do have good enchantments, like let's say these iron leggings, but in terms of everything, we really don't have a lot. And our treasure box here is a little bit empty. We have 3 diamonds and not even that much redstone, you know, things that aren't even that valuable we don't have a lot of. We only have 17 levels, so there's a couple things we need to do. The first thing I want to start with before we go right on to it is basically, we did make a farm in the last video, and I think that harvesting that farm is going to be a good idea, just so that we can have a good food source and we're not going to be, you know, starving to death in the middle of our mining trip, as that often happens. So we'll go over here and see how it's been growing between episodes. I did AFK for a little bit of time just so that we could have this grow between episodes, as of course I don't really do anything between. And it looks to me like almost everything is grown, which is awesome. We do not unfortunately have fortune at this point, so we can't really do anything with that, but we will harvest all these crops here, and then we can get a nice food source for our mining trip. Now of course there are a couple things we have to do to be able to enchant, to be able to make all these good tools, and they mostly involve ways of getting the experience and the materials for those tools and pieces of armor. Of course there are multiple different ways you can progress through Minecraft, some of which would be, let's say, going to villagers and trading with them, but I do feel like the traditional way of just mining for diamonds and making tools is probably the best in this situation, just because I think that setting up villagers and doing all the steps for that will take quite a bit of time. And again, welcome to everyone who's just joining on the stream. We have some amazing things planned today, and I hope that you'll all enjoy it. We'll be focusing on enchanting and making good armor. And we have another super chat. It is from just your average Trololo for $5, and there's no message, but thank you so much for that. And we're going to continue replanting these potatoes. I think I'm planting more actually than I had last time, but that's probably a good thing since potatoes are one of the best crops. Let's see here, we'll have our carrots here as well, just a small sapling of those. And I think we'll also replant the beetroot. I don't even think we had an entire row of that, but we may as well plant it just because, I don't know, why not have all the crop types, even if they're not very useful. And of course we'll put wheat seeds in here. We do have another super chat from the Fire Phoenix, which says, "Hi, how are you?" And I'm doing very good, thank you for asking, and I hope that everyone who's watching the stream is also doing really well. So there is our field there replanted. I'm going to head back here to our base. We're going to cook up some of those potatoes. Something that I think I've been needing to do a lot in this world, but haven't really done, because I've been trying to go from the most, you know, engaging thing possible to the most engaging thing possible, is actually set up things to make it so we do not have to climb up and down these mountains. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that today specifically, but something I do think we should work on is potentially making a strip mine tunnel from our house. So we did make a strip mine before in this world. The problem with that strip mine is the fact that the way to get to it is through the deep dark, and specifically through an ancient city, which although is quite exciting, we basically have to trip down an entire mountain and of course risk dying, which we have done before. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start around here a very long tunnel going down. We're almost at the height limit. We're at 250, which means we're going to have to go down 300 blocks to get down to mining level, which is completely insane to think about. But the good news is there are some great tips to basically get all the way down here and to effectively get ourselves that mine. So as you can see in my materials list, we do not have a lot of stuff on us. We barely even have really decent iron tools, so just to make sure that we don't have to get more, I'm going to craft some of those from the small amount of iron that we do have. And we have another super chat from the Fire Phoenix, which says, do you mine with chunk borders? I often will if I'm mining for netherite. However, it doesn't make much of a difference if you're strip mining underground for just standard ores, things like that. So for that, no, I do not mine with chunk borders, although it can sometimes be useful for laying out tunnels and things like that. So we'll make another pickaxe. Another thing, of course, we'll need is a way to actually get down the tunnel that we're making. So we could do ladders for that. We don't have a lot of wood or logs or things like that. So there's a couple ways we could get that. We could travel over to the bamboo jungle, break all those and get sticks. Or we could potentially go into the forest. The funny thing about early game Minecraft, which makes things a lot more difficult, is the fact of instead of just being like, let's say, okay, well we have to make a mine, let's just make the mine, is we have to even go through all the stages of getting the materials just to be able to build the mine itself. So there is a lot of bamboo over there, and bamboo can be made into scaffolding or ladders. Unfortunately, we do not really have any string, so we can't make scaffolding. But what we could do is we could make some stone swords and harvest a whole lot of that bamboo, and then we can come back here and use those to craft up all the things that we'll need. As although, of course, it's going to take some time, I do think it'll be worthwhile to give us those methods of just progressing through the game. And let's take a look here. And we have another super chat from the Fire Phoenix, which says you should bring like a stack of dirt in case emergency pillar or build up. That is definitely a good idea. It's always a good idea to have some blocks with you for those exact reasons. And as well as that, I think that, of course, going down the mountain and all this isn't always the safest thing. Again, there is a bamboo forest just down here, or a bamboo jungle just down there, and we'll go down to that. I mean, we could always make a strip mine that starts at the bottom of the mountain here. I guess there's a lot of options here we'll have to think through. It's just that, of course, I mean, everything's going to sort of be annoying to a point just because of how high up on a mountain we are and how low down we have to get. I mean, basically from the very top of the world's generation to the very bottom of the world's generation. As, of course, mountains can't generate taller than 255, and we're on a mountain that generates to 255, and so the top of our house is actually higher than terrain can standard generate, which is quite interesting. So right down here we do have this bamboo jungle. Another thing we could do is we could make a staircase down the mountain, and then from there at the bottom we could have an entrance to a mine. Either one would really work. I suppose it would be smarter to have sort of a standard mine entrance. Now, if we were to do something like that, right down here where the bamboo jungle is, the height of this area, and if we go a little bit lower, just to let's say here where we could realistically get down there, that would be 91, so that would technically save us 160 blocks of a tunnel. But of course, as well as doing that, it would also make it a little bit less convenient. Although I'm not sure how convenient it is going up, 300 blocks of a ladder, so we'll get the bamboo either way here. And of course, bamboo is very similar to sugarcane in the sense that you can easily make it regrow and turn into a farm if you just chop it at the second block from the bottom there like this. So we just have one block left over. And as you can see, we can instantly break it with something as simple as a stone sword. And so sort of like, let's say, tilling the ground with a hoe, or maybe turning things into path blocks. With breaking bamboo with swords, you may as well just have something like a stone sword, because, a diamond one is fine, but unless you have mending and an amazing XP farm, it can be a bit of a waste. And in the chat there, someone's saying I should make a bubble elevator because I grabbed kelp the last time. I would have to check to see if I have a puffer fish for a water breathing potion. But if I had that, we could always turn the tunnel we dig down into a bubble elevator. And I suppose thinking about it that way, we could always make our tunnel down from the top of our mountain and do that either way. Because of course, once we have that tunnel dug down, which is sort of half the effort, then we could put a bubble elevator there or really anything else. So we'll keep going through here. And we may as well grab some of these melons actually. I think we might have a couple melon seeds, but if not, there's some nice melons generating here we can grab. And as some people are saying in the chat there, Legends will join the Discord, and there's some links to the Discord there. I have some amazing plans, and they're sort of secret, but there'll be some really great things happening in the future of my channel, and there are things that you can even participate in, and the only way you can participate in those is by being part of the Discord. So if you've ever wanted to even have the potential of making it into a video, joining the Discord server could in the future give you the possibility to do that. And someone also commented and said, do I read comments? And I absolutely read comments. It's funny because at the stage where I am in YouTube, YouTube doesn't show me all the comments that I get, so I'll go through this page where it supposedly shows every comment, but it just does not actually show me all the ones that are placed down, so sometimes I'll check an old video, and there'll be a lot of comments that I never even knew were there. But I do try and read as many comments as I can, and if you comment on a video of mine in the first hour after it comes out, you're almost guaranteed to get a response, as I always try an hour after a video comes out to read all the comments. And we have another super chat that says, since you're almost at max height, you could do Caves and Cliffs achievement. That is actually true, yeah, I could probably set it up that way. Of course, the Caves and Cliffs achievement is basically when you fall from the top of the world to the bottom into a block of water, I believe. So it would, I suppose, matter on where the bedrock is, because of course if the bedrock is placed in the wrong area, we couldn't do that, but could definitely be something interesting to try. And someone said, what Minecraft servers do I play on? I don't play on a massively large amount of Minecraft servers, but I do occasionally play on Hypixel. Sometimes I'll play on some private multiplayer survival worlds or other things like that. And of course I do play on my own Minecraft server, although I'm not always on there. But I do have my own Minecraft server if people want to join that. There is also a way to join that through the Discord server if you're interested. So we're probably just going to throw away some of these stone swords as they're really not important at all, and things like the wheat seeds. Just, things we're never really going to be needing. So I'll go through here and pick up the rest of this, and I found oftentimes with bamboo, I almost always grab too much than I can carry, just because bamboo can grow really tall. And a funny fact about bamboo is that once it's generated into the world, it cannot grow any taller than what it's generated in as, so there's no bamboo growth inside of the bamboo jungle, unless of course you've broken it, and then that'll reset the timer. But the reason for that is that if they did let it grow, there would be incredible lag, which would make the bamboo jungle very, very, very laggy. And someone asked, do I play Roblox? I have played Roblox before. I used to be incredibly interested in it, but I don't really play it much anymore. Although here and there I might log in just for the nostalgia of not playing it for a long time, but Roblox is definitely quite a popular game on YouTube. So we're going to go up here, and I do think that digging that tunnel either way is going to be good. It'll take a little bit of time, but it'll be kind of interesting to have that tunnel from the bottom of the world to the top of it anyway. Some said, what are my frames right now? My frames should be around 144 FPS, but I'm not actually sure if that's what's going through the stream here. I can tell it's a little bit laggy. It's hard to say exactly, but it should be pretty good. We'll go up here. And of course, all the way up the mountain again. Something that's kind of nice about this side of the mountain is it seems to be a lot less steep than the other side. And someone was saying they would love a guide on hardcore mode. I have considered a guide on hardcore before, so it's not impossible that you would see that in the future. And of course, I suppose the main difference between that and a standard survival guide would just be focusing on certain things that you can do to make sure you're really safe, as of course in hardcore, if you die, the world is not really deleted, but you're put into permanent spectator mode. And of course Bedrock Edition doesn't have hardcore mode, although there are some things in the marketplace for that. But still, I think it would be a good thing to potentially take a look into a hardcore mode guide. And someone said, will I join Hermitcraft? Well, I don't think it's that easy to join Hermitcraft. But I mean, I suppose if I was sent an invitation, I would definitely be considering that heavily. I'm sure I wouldn't, I probably would not give up an offer to join Hermitcraft, although I suppose it's hard to say. And someone said I missed Emerald Ore. I actually didn't miss the Emerald Ore, but emeralds themselves are fairly easy to get. But Emerald Ore is not that easy to get, and so basically it's not really that smart to mine Emerald Ore until you have a Silk Touch pickaxe. So that's why I didn't mine any of the emerald ore I passed by. We're going to go back up here, and then the last episode we had this bird, this parrot, green parrot that was named Granny Smith by a viewer, and every time I find a pet in this Survival Live series, I'm going to let the viewers name it, so hopefully, maybe I'll even find a pet this time, maybe a dog or something, we'll see. Actually, those should not go in there actually. And if I do, then everyone can help name that, which is pretty cool. So we'll just throw the bamboo in here for now. Just try and get our inventory a little bit more sorted out. It does seem like we didn't have any melon slices, which is nice to know, since we did get that correctly. And we'll put all of our tools we don't need in here. So, although I don't really like to do this, because of course there are more efficient ways of doing it, we are going to turn all of the bamboo that we have into sticks and then into ladders, as we just don't have any string, and getting a lot of string really quickly is going to probably take more time than it would to just wait till we have a more efficient source of that by, let's say, finding an abandoned mine shaft or something. So we have to go down literally 300 blocks. Eventually we can do something more than just the ladders, but for now we have to use those. So 300 blocks would be a little under 6 stacks, I believe. So we'll have to get a lot more. We'll probably have to use all of our bamboo we have, which is actually fine. I'll leave, of course, a small amount if we want to regrow it. We also do have a big amount of bone meal, but because there's so much bamboo down the mountain there, it'd probably be a bit silly to be using all that right now. So we now have 4 stacks. That should be about 240 blocks, something like that. So we can start with that. Now there's a really great way of making a tunnel to a mine, to a strip mine, things like that. And what's actually awesome about this is that a lot of times people will say in Minecraft, well, you shouldn't dig straight down. And I suppose that is good advice if you're, traditionally digging just one block all the way down. But if you do this trick, it's actually never a bad idea to dig straight down. Some things you'll want, though, which are always good to have, is some gravity blocks. So things like gravel can be fine. It doesn't really matter, sand, just blocks that are affected by gravity. We're going to pick where our strip mine entrance is going to be, which I'm not exactly sure where. Maybe near the edge of the mountain. We could say like maybe over here. I suppose I could just see it being like here or something. It doesn't really matter. We can make a little structure around it at some point like this. And basically, we'll go through here. And it looks like it's almost nighttime. It just looks like it is. I think it's funny. I feel like the sky color, in fact, I don't feel like it. I know that the sky color changes depending on what biome you're in. That's probably why it seemed like that. So the trick is, you don't mine one block straight down like this. That's really dangerous. So what you do is you go between 2 different blocks. And so because of that, if we dig one block, we're not going to fall. If we dig this block, we're also not going to fall. And so basically what it does is you have a really great amount of notice if, let's say, you mine into a cave, and it makes mining straight down never be dangerous at all, which is an awesome trick, of course. As digging straight down and falling into lava is certainly one of the oldest and most sort of humorous stereotypes of dying in Minecraft. And someone said to make a shield, and I do have a shield, I believe, up in my house. But I do not need one right now, as of course, I don't think any creepers will be falling down here, and if they do, they'll just die of fall damage. So we'll mine up this iron, though, as I'd like to believe that we don't need the iron, but we definitely do. So we're going to mine up all that iron, and of course block all this up. Hopefully we can get some fortune soon, as of course that'll make the mining a lot better. Someone asked, do I like Pop-Tarts? And I do like Pop-Tarts, they're quite good, although I haven't had them for quite a while. But again, mining like this is great. What's also interesting is that, let's say you mine into maybe some lava, you won't actually fall into the lava, because let's say the block beneath this is lava, we'll see that, and we'll kind of be able to notice that beneath the other block, so we can stay there, and we won't die. So things like this are really great tricks to know, as of course, they're pretty simple, just mining between 2 blocks, but at the end of the day, small things like this are what saves you from dying. So let's keep going down. And let's see here. Someone said they've been playing Minecraft for 10 plus years, which is definitely a long time. And they said that they think I'm the best tutorial videos by far, which is thank you so much. And we have another super chat that says, I found a cool seed that spawns you next to a savanna village in a mangrove jungle with deep slate diamond fossil, 2 dungeons, and 3 mine shafts. Well, that's definitely a really cool seed for sure. Now, something you may have noticed, which I think is incredibly humorous, is that we've mined into the clouds. Yes, you can see that we're inside of a cloud right now, which is always a funny visual for sure. I do tend to play with my clouds on just as I think it's more interesting. We're now mining out of the clouds, so here we are. We've now descended outside of the cloud layer. You can see that. And already our mountain sort of strip mine tunnel here is looking incredibly deep there. It's a good thing we have a bed with us so we can sleep down here without any issue. Someone said, wouldn't it be quicker to make a two-way elevator with soul sand, magma, and kelp? Well, it would take the same amount of time really, because we're going to have to dig this tunnel either way. I can make something like that. I do not currently have any water-breathing potions, and it's literally impossible to make a ladder this tall without water-breathing potions. There are ways, but it's definitely not a good thing to attempt. But I'm still going to dig this tunnel, and I mean, ideally, it's not that hard to break ladders off of the side of a block, so I don't think it's, we're in any way preventing ourselves from making that. I did plan to make a water elevator soon, as actually in a previous episode I got the supplies for that. But of course, we're just going to have to wait till we get some pufferfish, things like that. I might even have some of the supplies to make those things, so we could definitely look into that maybe a little bit later down in the episode, of course. But again, this tunnel will be necessary either way. And someone asks, do I play Apex Legends? I've never played Apex Legends before, although I have heard of it. So no, unfortunately not. I've never played that. Someone says, hello, so I fell off my strider and into a lava pool. How do I not lose all my stuff? I have no potions. Well, there's always these massive problems in Minecraft, and some people would say that there is never a solution, but there is. It's called creative mode. No, just kidding. It's not called creative mode. There's actually some great things you can do to save yourself in that scenario. So if you're in Java Edition, something really important to know is that as soon as you've logged into a world, you have about 30, well, maybe half a second to a second when you're not going to take any damage. And so what you can do, although it takes a lot of time, is you can log in, move for literally about half a second, then log out, log in, move for about half a second and log out, and slowly inch your way to the nearest tunnel, to the nearest, way out of the lava. If something like that takes a little bit too much time for what you'd like, then something you can also try is you can try basically backing up your world, and then you can sort of try and find a way to escape, sort of look around you, and just sort of slowly collect data about where you are and how you could be saved. I guess it depends a lot on what you have on you, if it's worth that much effort. But there's sort of things like that you can do. After all, with sort of exploiting that invulnerability timer, there are a lot of ways to get past deaths in lava, but it is going to be a lot of work either way. Someone said, what about scaffolding to avoid lava? Well, if they do have scaffolding, they could try that. Of course, it depends on if they're at the bottom of the lava pool or not. I would assume they're not, just because they fell off of a strider. But there are some things you can do like that. And someone said, couldn't you try to get back onto the strider? And they could definitely try that as well. Again, it does depend a lot on what armor they have on them. If they had, let's say, netherite armor, then absolutely they could. But I'm assuming they don't. And someone said they love my YouTube videos. Well, thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. And we keep getting the nether songs, which is kind of appropriate actually, because we're just talking about death by strider. We'll go down here. And someone said, can I make a live server with us? Well, I do have an SMP. Potentially I could live stream on there at some point. Might be interesting just to get as many people on there at once as possible. And if you do want to join my SMP and you want to participate in that, I am sometimes on it. You can join that by joining my Discord server, and I have the link on the screen right now. Well, there's actually not a link on the screen, but there's a link that says to look in the live chat or in the description of this video. While you're at it, you could also follow me on Twitter. You could follow me on Twitch. I do want to live stream on Twitch eventually, and I have been trying to tweet as much as possible. And of course, there's also my Reddit there, as well as I have a second channel and some more other interesting things. So we'll go back to Minecraft here. We have another super chat, and thank you so much to the Fire Phoenix for all of these super chats. It says, what's your favorite disc? I like Chirp. Well, I think I've answered this every single stream, but I would say that one of my favorite discs is Wait. I really like Far. A lot of different music discs sort of remind me a lot of the old days of Minecraft and just sort of all these videos I've watched from when those music discs were very, very popular. And so I tend to like that. as to me, some of these music discs almost just sort of, in an audio way, kind of paint the picture of the Minecraft world. So we've gotten very low so far. Just to make sure we're not stuck down here without any way to get back up, we're going to start by placing some ladders. We'll be smart, we'll place some water down here so we can easily get down again and won't have to waste time. Something really interesting is if you're in the old versions of Minecraft 1.0 and you're placing ladders, what will actually happen is if you double click here, it'll place another ladder on the other side. And when I was playing Minecraft 1.0 a while ago, for a video but also for fun, I thought it was quite interesting because there are some strange little features like that where sort of the placing system wasn't made in that much of a user-friendly way because it just hadn't been tested that much, but it's good that most issues like that have been resolved. And someone said, if I have a golden axe with silk touch, how can I get the enchantment off or upgrade it to iron? Unfortunately, you cannot do either of those things. If you have like no levels, you could technically always disenchant that, but I wouldn't ever suggest that. The only thing you can really do if you want to keep that silk touch is you could put mending on it, but again, with the small amount of durability that the the golden axe has, it's not going to be that worthwhile. Still, some things that are good to know of is that you can harvest the coral fans with that silk touch axe. And if, let's say, you had a fortune tool with like no durability on it, harvesting crops with those I don't actually believe takes any durability, so even though it might be low quality, you could still get a lot out of it. And already that is an amazingly deep drop. So we're going to go down here, and basically, we're almost out of ladders already, of course, which is unfortunate, but we're going to see what we have in terms of additional logs and things. I don't really mind going to get more of that. I don't know why there's dark oak logs in my stone and sort of dirt supplies box, but I suppose something I did do between episodes actually is I finished sorting through all this, if you can notice. I'm not usually very sorted in Minecraft, to be honest, but I think that I've done a acceptable job here for now. Of course, in the future we can always do a bit better. But for now, I'm going to grab some of these logs, some of these different items, and we're going to make as many sticks as possible. Of course, it's never really the best idea to make sticks out of planks, but that's all we have right now, so we're just going to make all the ladders that we can. And that is probably actually enough ladders to get us all the way down. We're also running low on our axes, so we're going to have to use more of our iron, unfortunately, to make some axes, or some pickaxes, that is. It is kind of interesting how axes and pickaxes are sort of based off of the same word. It's not really funny, because of course they sort of do the same thing. And of course, in real life, I think a pickaxe is a bit more like an axe than a pickaxe is in Minecraft. And we're going to fall down here, so I'll even do it without my my crosshair on, so it's more interesting. So here we go. Oh boy, let's see what happens. Very, very, very little glitch, and you won't actually not die, but we of course did not die there. So we're at the Y level of 73, so we're like just to normal Y level. All that was just going down the mountain. I suppose if we mined out this way, we'd probably eventually get to outside the mountain, and maybe later on I'll do some math with the coordinates, and we could potentially find a way out of there. Oh my goodness, it looks like we have a shrieker nearby. That is very high up for a shrieker. That's not good at all. Well, we're at warning level 1 now, and we're now at warning level 2. Very interesting. Well, I'm just going to finish up the ladder up here. Oh my goodness, I did not expect to have a potential warden attack at the very deep Y level of 60. That's very weird. Oh, and we're at warning level 3. Okay, well, this has escalated very quickly. We're just going to keep mining down, and we might be fighting a warden in about 10 seconds here, which is quite funny. But thankfully, if we're falling down the ladder, technically we shouldn't die. But we actually found a cave here. This could be the cave where that is, so I'm definitely going to finish the ladder going up here. But that could easily summon in the warden, and it has summoned in the warden. Let's find out what happens here. Okay, we now have the warden. That escalated very quickly, I'm to be honest. So we're probably just going to travel up back our tunnel here. We're going to let that warden despawn. Something that's good to know is if you can escape from the warden, you may as well always should. If they haven't had any sort of signals, things like that. They despawn really quickly, but honestly, that's pretty crazy. Instant spawning of the warden there. And I'm annoyed too. Now, we did run into that cave, which is good. So something we can always do is we can go back there later and we can get rid of that shrieker. But the annoying thing is, because we're now at that high of a warning level, it's going to be difficult. And someone's saying they've missed everything. And I'll give you a quick catch up on what's going on. We're starting a strip mine tunnel, and at Y60, which is very high up for something like that to happen, we've already run into the deep dark, and we have triggered a skulk shrieker. So there's a warden at the bottom of that staircase. Well, not exactly at the bottom of it, but nearby enough that a sonic charge is a risk. So, you know, there's actually two things we could do here. I wish I didn't have 18 levels, because if I had no levels, I wouldn't mind about not dying. But something we could definitely do is go down there and basically just sort of set our spawn point. And actually, I hear a creeper up here, so we're just gonna, I guess we can use an axe, but we could set our spawn point and we could sort of try and kill it over time. We're gonna be wary. There could be a creeper up here. I hear it. I hear it. It must be outside here. And someone said make a dripstone lava farm, and also Chirp is playing. Yes. And a dripstone lava farm could be a good idea in the future there. May as well put the rest of our stone here away. It is nighttime either way. We'll come up with a great plan to kill the warden. So it's sort of interesting to think about how we would ideally take care of that situation of the warden being there. We could always wait. The only problem is that now that I think about it, that warning level wouldn't have gone down, so we'll just have another warden summon in. And half the point of this episode is basically enchanting, so we can't lose our levels for sure. So yeah, we're gonna have to figure that one out. I guess we'll start by putting some of these random items away as we think through solutions. And we have a super chat from Pokey King for $10, and it says, "Here's this money, good luck." Well, thank you very much for the good luck. I hope that I will have good luck, so we can hopefully get that warden and not die. Now there are a couple things we can do here in this scenario. And I did not place the water at the bottom of the elevator or the bottom of the ladder, which is not very smart. I guess wool would be a good idea if we have some of that, because ideally once that warden's despawned, we can hopefully carefully get down to the bottom of that. The problem is I don't actually know if we can descend the ladder without summoning in another warden. In fact, we probably can't. And so ideally, whether or not that warden despawns or not, it's going to be very hard to get back down there. So we have that. We do have some really high quality hoes. We have this hoe we got from the ancient city. And we also have a hoe over here that has Silk Touch, which is actually pretty cool. I don't want to lose it, even though technically having a Shrieker would be really cool. So we're not going to bring that. But other than that, everything else we have here isn't that important. We'll put away our diamond pickaxe just in case. But ideally, I guess what we would do is we would head down there, we would place wool around, and we would try our best. Now, of course, the sonic charge is the actual issue. And someone said hit warden with a snowball and another $2, which thank you very much for all the donations there to the Fire Phoenix. I can try that. I mean, why not? It's kind of funny. I know that you can use projectiles to distract it, although I'm not sure if we're going to be able to be that subtle going down the ladder all the way. Let me put away some of this coal and actually these other items as well, just because, you know, we're so early game in this world, losing any items is going to be bad. But again, for anyone just joining, we are now working on trying to get rid of a warden, and well, more specifically getting rid of the Skulk Shrieker. I was going to make a sword, but I realized there's basically no point. So basically, I guess the biggest important thing to do is to set our spawn point. And there is an area, when we were mining, we sort of digged out a cavern, and I didn't fill it up. So if we go back down there, I can use that to place the bed and get the spawn point set. It might be here. Is it there? Let's find out. It might also be somewhere else. I know it was here. So this is not right at the bottom, but it's a little bit closer. We could see if there's another area sort of close. Anything... There's this. Anything really, really close, we're going to spawn in. The warden will be there. So, this is probably close enough. I mean, we could see a little bit closer. If the warden senses us, it's not going to be a big issue. This is probably close enough right here. I think any closer is going to be a little bit dangerous. So, we're going to dig out something here. Now, someone asks in the stream, how do you find the ancient city? I know it's below mountains, but there isn't there a way to locate it more accurately? There is with seed finders. There isn't specifically. The good thing that snow is basically the taller the mountain, the higher the chance there is of it. If you do want to use seed finders, that is always an option. And of course with that you just put in your world seed and try and find it. Now we're going to be really careful here. This is stealth mode, and I don't actually think it's going to matter, because again, we're going to more or less be interrupting, well, not interrupting, but sending signals to that warden. Either way, now I don't hear it. And to be fair, when it summoned in, it sounded very strange. So let's see what's down here. Oh, okay, that might have just summoned in another warden. Probably did, actually. It did. Well, that's not perfect. I'm going to be honest, that's the furthest thing from perfect. Something we could always do is we could actually just keep mining downwards. Instead of, and just sort of ignore the warden. Okay, the warden's really close. We're going to mine one block down, temporarily, although that's not always the best idea, just because... Okay. We are, in a very dangerous situation. We're just going to keep mining right down. This was not a good idea. I'm going to be honest here, everyone. Okay. There's another cave. There's another cave. And we're going to keep going down. And again... Try not die. We're still really high up, which is annoying as anything. Now, it's definitely, they all know we're here. Thankfully, they're not going to actually have that good of an idea of where we are exactly, because it doesn't seem to be sensing us that well. And I think we're going to be too low, they can not get us, but maybe not. We have to go a bit lower still. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. Something I sort of like about Minecraft, to be fair, is the fact that there is now this element in the game of sort of a horror game. Okay, I hear another sensor. We could literally have another warden. So it's hard to hear, but I actually heard one of the wardens just get back up into sort of absorb back into the stone there. So ideally, I do hear more sensors. I never thought really that we'd be running into the skulk this much, because I have mined in areas with skulk before and it's usually not this bad. But apparently here it is. So, okay. We're still in the deep dark. This is so stupid because we're still really high up. But basically, I don't even know if these two blocks are the right ones. I know one of them is, because I keep going around. So you heard there again, that's another warden going away, which again is very good. Eventually, I suppose, because we do still have the ladders, we're just going to hope this block is correct and we're going to sort of go back up. But again, that could also summon in more wardens, which is not a good idea. So unless we want to just summon in wardens every time we go into our strip mine, which technically isn't the worst idea, although it's a little bit terrifying, to be fair. We probably want to come up with a better solution, but for now, we'll keep mining down. We're almost there, which is good, and hopefully there won't be a massive skulk cavern all the way down here. It's too bad there wasn't sort of a way to find out if there is a lot of skulk caves. I remember a long time ago I watched a video of someone talking about how potentially a great update to Minecraft if there was a cave update, because this video I believe was before the cave update, would be to have a way of sensing if there's caves. Now, yet again, we run into the deep dark, which is amazing. So, yeah, that's a big cave too. Now, to be fair, oftentimes the biggest deep dark caves are the least dangerous, which sounds stupid, but it's actually true. Basically because you have the most room to see. So there's a shrieker there. Okay, there's a shrieker right there. So we do have wool, which means we actually have a decent chance of getting this. So we may as well try, after all. Getting some lag, unfortunately, but we're going to be stealthy here. So this has turned into how to not get killed by the Deep Dark 101. It's actually really easy. So we have to make sure we don't use up all our wool here, because that's really important not to do. But basically, the only thing that's dangerous in the Deep Dark, and I'm sorry if you guys can't see, I definitely am not placing down a torch in this scenario, but the only thing that's dangerous here is those shriekers, and definitely not going to throw a snowball at them either. There's also no hostile mobs that generate in here. They can generate in near the edge. So basically all you have to do is just surround that shrieker in wool, put a block on top of it too, and now it's safe. Unfortunately, sometimes they're near an edge of a block, so it's not as easy. We're also going to risk it and put a torch here. Okay, that was worth the risk. But basically, we have to go through here and find those shriekers. Again, the good news is that shrieker is literally the only thing that's dangerous. Unfortunately, you sometimes have like a really, really dangerous thing to disarm, like right here. but the good news is we can also fully surround this if we have enough wool, which we don't really. But we're going to try our best here. Of course, these sort of things are going to be dangerous no matter what. We could work on grabbing that staircase, because you can also mine wool blocks safely. This is going to be like literally just enough wool blocks to get rid of these, and there's going to be another shrieker over there. We'll just have to basically hope doesn't kill us. So we'll do that. And I would place another torch, but again, we're just going to be ultra careful here. The good news is once those shriekers are covered up or potentially broken, depending on the positioning, then there isn't much of a risk. But because we're at that high warning level, we have to be incredibly careful here, because one mistake means a warden, and we don't even have a good way of getting out, so that could be death. And we have a super chat from Limited that says, "Hey how do you stay motivated in a Minecraft world?" Well, it's kind of a complicated process, but I would say one of the biggest things that keeps me motivated about Minecraft is I sort of view Minecraft as if it's a bit like real life, and I think that can often sort of, oh, that was scary, that can often make Minecraft a bit more fun. So as an example, instead of, let's say, starting your world and building all these massive farms straight off and then, you know, almost be playing in a sort of creative mode early on, which, I mean, you can always do that. But what's sometimes nice to do is to sort of progress more naturally through the game, and also even once you are late game, let's say you're planning a build, you could always plan it with real life considerations in mind. So for instance, things like making sure your pathways look nice, making sure, you know, you have, let's say, a kitchen in your house you're building, and just, you know, sort of things like this to make there be more life can often help. I've often found, of course, that you know, if you get tired of a Minecraft world, you can always pause on it and try and come back to it later. But I would say that the biggest thing is try and create things of value in your Minecraft world. So you want to come back to it, you know. Things of value can be farms, they can be cool builds, they can be worlds you play on with friends, but I would say it's all about getting value into your Minecraft world, and then from there it's fairly easy to stay on it long term. That's often why like an SMP as an example is more popular usually than just straight up survival, is because oftentimes you know, if there's a lot of people playing in a world, that can make it more interesting and more valuable to you. So there we go. We're gonna keep mining down. I don't think we're gonna alert any shriekers now, but yeah, if anyone's wondering, we basically mined into the perilous deep dark biome, and we're going to try our best to not die. Try our best is not a guarantee, unfortunately. Now, something actually which is pretty cool, if we want it to be incredibly risky, is we could mine in this deep dark biome. That's right. So basically, I did show this off a little while ago, but something that can definitely be done, and I'm just not going to get scared by that because that's not going to help anything, is once you've sort of found a big deep dark cave that's at the right Y level, basically all you have to do really is just break all the skulk with a hoe, the fastest hoe you have. I actually do have a fast hoe right now. And then once you have that, all you have to do is look under that skulk, because the air exposure rule is not affected by that. You can much more easily find ores and materials. And someone said, who's trying to kill Eyecraftmc? Well, it's definitely the warden at this point in the game. And unfortunately, we do not have that handy skylight. Now, it is -50 right now, so we have to mine down a little bit lower. I always tend to sort of not always be able to fully decide whether or not I want to mine at -57, -58, because they both have pros and cons. But in this scenario, because of the warden, because of things like that, I definitely think that -58 is better, as it's much lower, so much safer. And we're going to go right here. Now, we know the cave is this way. It's actually sort of always, but we're going to go this way. And we're not actually going to start strip mining right away. I'm glad that making a strip mine tunnel became interesting at very least. I suppose interesting is better than nothing, although it's sort of interesting in the wrong way, but that's okay. So we're going to make our ladder back up here. And then we'll actually, I would place water here, but I don't know if that's actually the bottom. We might have to adjust this a bit, which is fine. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come back up here, and we're basically going to figure out what we're going to do. Now, the big issue is not dealing with what's here, it's getting out of here. Because above here, every time I sort of changed my position up here, it means that there was a shrieker that I alerted. So it's going to be really, really difficult to not alert more shriekers. There actually could be a shrieker here as well. The good news is once sort of I've made the actual tunnel, it's all blocked off. It's not going to be that difficult to sort of not alert those shriekers, because even if we do alert them, we'll just keep going down the tunnel, it won't matter. So we're going to keep making this. I would block this off, it doesn't look incredibly dangerous to me, so we'll keep that up there. But I really do enjoy that danger that it's adding to the Minecraft world, because it adds some challenge, it adds some interest to it. Now we're going to be a little risky here, just because I do know for a fact that we can get down out of the situation safely. We don't now know it's safe down there, there's no mobs, there's nothing super dangerous. And so because of that, we can do that. I would again also be mining this too wide normally. I just don't know for a fact if this is the correct area, so be really careful here. We could definitely run into a shrieker in about a second here. I guess the torch is in the wrong area, which is not surprising because I was very, very stressed when doing this. But we'll keep going up here. Now, I'm trying to see here. It looks to me, I blocked it up actually there, so it's very hard to say where I was supposed to be mining, if this is positioned correctly or not. I really hope it is. And the Fire Phoenix, I will not be throwing a snowball just yet anyway, because it's a little bit dangerous right now. Just a little bit. So we're going to go up here, and we're going to fill this in with the ladders. And I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest here. But we're going to figure out what happens. You know... Oh boy, here we go. So let's see what's up here. I know there's no warden anyway. Okay, there is definitely the cave. The question is, are we perfectly aligned? Probably not. I only placed one block, so we're going to find out if we're aligned correctly. And like right now... Actually, no, we won't, because I mined over, and it does not look like we are, because it sort of moves over there, but that's fine for now. Again, there's probably a shrieker right up here. Like, I don't literally know any other way to get back up. So we're just going to switch around what we're doing. We should be able to get it away in time, so nothing we can really do in this scenario. We'll look for a shrieker, though. There's a shrieker. I'm actually glad we found that shrieker, because that is one of the ones that we triggered. There was a warden here earlier, so what we can now do is we can safely cover that up. I don't think we can fully cover it just because of the position. We'll be really careful here not to touch anything. But we can cover it up enough that it should be safe. Safe enough we shouldn't have to worry. So what we'll even do is we'll put a little bit of wool around the sensor here, just so that we're sort of getting rid of any possibility of setting that off either. So that should be safe now, which is good. Again, as you can see here, I sort of mined this way, so I'm not sure it might still be aligned correctly. We're going to assume it is, which probably isn't correct, but we'll try. We'll keep going this way, and I'm pretty glad we didn't die in that scenario, though, of course, now we're going to have to deal with figuring out this tunnel, which is much less worse than dying, I would say. So we mine this way. Okay, actually, it might be aligned correctly, because I mined this way, so maybe I was very lucky in my incoherent tunnel digging, so we're going to keep going up this way then. Very risky though. And oh, okay, there's a warden. Now I'm not actually that worried because we can get down really easy. You can notice that it can't get to us right here. We are going to go back down a little bit just to be safe, but this isn't a scenario where it's that dangerous. So something funny I often get people commenting is they'll say, you know, when I'm in dangerous situations like this, why aren't I scared? Which I think is a good question, and the reason why is basically just that I sort of am aware of what the risks are, and so as long as I think I can avoid those risks safely, there's not a big issue. Now, I personally think our most sort of ideal course of action is going to be just to dig all the blocks around here, look for diamonds here for now, and not really worry about the shriekers, because again, we can always go back up the ladder and sort of hide between the two wardens. And we have another super chat, and thank you to everyone who's super chatting. Thank you to the Fire Phoenix for so many super chats, and if anyone wants to directly support the streams, super chats are a great way to do that. So this one says, in a snapshot, the respawn anchor blew up blocks when it exploded underwater, and that is quite an interesting fact for sure. The respawn anchor has some interesting things it does. Now this is a bit risky, this sort of thing we built here. However, something I could do is I could break the one shrieker. As long as there's not two shriekers next to each other, you can oftentimes effectively do that. Now the problem is it's sort of a ticking time bomb, because we break the wrong block, then we could potentially set it off, unfortunately. So we're just gonna see what happens here. Again, if we break the shrieker here, it should be safe, just because there's nothing, but here we go. And it didn't go off. That's awesome. So this area around here is now safe. We can reharvest this wool, which is going to raise our chance of survival by a lot. I wish I had some iron actually, so we could mine this wool more efficiently, but I'm pretty happy with that. Hopefully this whole sort of adventure in the end does end us up helping us enchant and get armor, as that was the point of this episode, but we'll find out. For anyone just joining the stream, the point is to enchant and get armor, but unfortunately I'm in a bit of a scenario where we have a lot of shriekers around here. Now sometimes what I'll do in a world if I'm feeling very technical is I'll actually save the shriekers, but in this point I think we're just going to try and be as safe as possible. We have a lot of shriekers around, and we have another super chat from Katie Cat Meow that says, "You're part of my Saturday morning ritual now." Well, this is my 4th stream of this series, so I'm very glad that I'm that quickly integrated into your ritual. Now we're going to go around here. There could even be diamonds right on the floor. Let's take a look here. I don't see any shriekers. We could run into one. Oh, there's some diamonds right there. That's awesome. We'll grab those in a second. So I guess we are sort of completing our goal somewhat. And basically, we're going to try and mine those. I don't think there's any danger around here. This will definitely make it worthwhile. I feel like there's more than 2 here, but we're going to find out. And apparently I felt wrong because there was just 2 there. We'll take a little look around. It's always good to mine just a little bit around the diamonds you find. Of course, we are setting off a lot of the sensors there, so you never know if we'd set off a shrieker. It's not unlikely, but I'm not too worried just based on the fact that we haven't already set one off. Now we're going to look around here. Again, any area that's not lit up easily could have a shrieker. I don't see one. But at the end of the day, we're going to run for our lives. Because there is a warden now, which is unideal, for sure. So once that warden despawns, and thankfully I think it's been enough time that the warden above us has despawned. We're literally dancing between wardens at this point, which is funny if it wasn't so deadly, but still. So basically we're going to hide up here. We're not going to set off another warden. We're going to contemplate the wonders of diorite as we wait for that warden to despawn, and maybe I'll read some comments. Someone says warden counter 6. Yeah, it has been that. And now that I have 2 diamonds, Samdachem says in the chat I can now make some diamond socks, or maybe I could make 1 boot, or maybe a diamond hoe or 2 shovels. And someone said there is a sensor underneath a shrieker you covered. You are correct. I probably should have just broken those shriekers when I found them. I remember when I was covering one of them, it was sort of, I could tell it was a bit risky. Now there is this cave here, which we could break the shrieker while we're at it. I don't know if that's the smartest idea, but you know, at the end of the day, nothing I've been doing here is very smart. So I don't know, we may as well explore a little bit dim, but you know, we'll find out. So there is a shrieker right there, you can actually see it, so because of that, if we run back that way, we'll definitely set it off. But once we're far enough away, we should be decently safe. So this looks like it sort of gets out of the deep dark kind of generation for a little bit. We're going to risk it just a little bit, and we're going to put down a torch because I want my audience to be able to see. And that risk was worth it because we can now see. So someone said I have a lot of easy XP there. That's actually really true. I wasn't thinking about that. I'm the one who's always telling people to mine in the deep dirt for XP, and here I am forgetting about it. But in that case, as we wait for that warden to despawn, we may as well do a little search around here for any shriekers. I don't see any. Hopefully I'm not forgetting any, but there's like nothing here. And so because of that, we could very easily get some XP, so we may as well do that as we wait. And we set off a shrieker, We'll find out what happens. But we can always get our stuff back, I suppose. And we have another super chat that says, mine nether gold with silk touch because when you smelt it, it makes 1 ingot. Yeah, so I'm actually really interested by that super chat. There's this amazing debate in the Minecraft community. I find it very interesting. And it's about what's better. Is it mining your nether gold ore with fortune, or is it mining with silk touch? And you are correct that technically it is better to mine it with the silk touch. Now, I think a lot of what makes it actually the best decision or not is just based on sort of how much smelting material you have, as I believe the amount you get with Fortune 3 is just slightly less, like maybe 5% less. But for sure, yeah, if we have like a good source of smelting, you do technically get a little bit more of the nether gold ore. That way you also don't have to deal with crafting the ingots, which is always nice. And something good to know, although it has nothing to do with this scenario, is that if you're in the nether and you're having an issue with the piglins, something you can always do is you can throw a singular nugget at them. It does not have to be an ingot, even just a nugget will be enough. And so That's one good thing about the nether gold ore, is you can mine it, and if it angers them, you can usually still deal with that. Now, I do believe that warden has despawned. They despawn very quickly. So we're going to head back through here past this shrieker. I really want to get rid of it, but I shouldn't risk it. Again, all these things sort of happen very quickly, so we're going to be careful. We can again see that shrieker right there, and I really want to break it. I feel like I probably should have at first, so we're just going to be risky, and we're going to break it. There we go. That was worth it. Now we can light this up, and we can even use this as an XP source later, so that's always good. We're definitely be grabbing this wool. And the next thing is Operation Get Rid of that shrieker that set off earlier. We won't get rid of these sensors for now, because later on what I can do is I can grab them with our Silk Touch hoe, because we have this basically perfect Silk Touch hoe we got earlier. So let's find out if that warden is down beneath. And someone said wardens despawn after 1 minute of calm, and that is correct. So we should be fine. And of course, we didn't really trigger that warden at all. So it's actually not exactly 1 minute. There are a little bit more nuance to it, but more or less what it is it's 1 minute after receiving no signals, and they have to calm down from the previous signals, and then after that it's a minute. So if it was at the full anger mode, it could take a little bit of time. But generally you're going to be fine. Now here's the one thing that makes this a little bit dangerous, and that's the fact that when we break the wool, if the wool drops on any blocks of the ground, that'll cause us a signal. So you have to be really, really careful with that, but we should be fine. And I do not know why that did not sense off the shrieker. I think that was just the wrong angle, but we got it. That is that warden shrieker gone. And we are now basically back to safety. So this seems really weird, but I think honestly what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to where those other wardens were summoning, and we're going to try and work on our staircase a bit, and more or less what we're going to do is we're going to dig up the staircase a bit, let a warden spawn, go back down, mine some skulk, and sort of repeat the process till eventually we have a safe mining tunnel all the way back up, as we can climb the ladders faster than the wardens can get to their stage of anger that they can kill us with the sonic blast, so we're going to be fairly safe doing that. And something I find actually kind of funny about streaming and YouTube in general is that a lot of people don't do it, and so something I was checking a while ago is that the overall number of people who stream on YouTube with Minecraft, like the overall viewer count, is usually really low, like maybe 16,000 total across at any one time. So it's like my stream right here is probably like maybe a 20th of all YouTube people watching streams right now, which is really interesting. So the warden is literally right up there, but I can actually tell where we are aligned with the tunnel, I believe. So we're just going to slowly head back down here. Really not a big issue. Thankfully wardens cannot fit down a singular block tunnel, or we would be very dead. Imagine that would be funny if they said the warden is still not overpowered enough. So they give it the ability to shape shift into the shape of a player. So as that warden despawns, we're just going to clear this out like crazy. And again, this is actually one of my favorite things to do, because number one, tons of XP just galore. We have so much XP here. But the second thing that's great about it is that we're exposing all of these areas that could potentially have ores. And of course you don't always find ores, but at very least it's sort of a double purpose to doing this, which makes it especially great. So we're going to mine through all this. And basically, we'll go over here as well. Again, I should probably look a little around here. And oh, it looks like a diamond right here. That's awesome. Looks like a singular diamond, unfortunately. But let's mine that. We're now out of torches, so we'll have to be careful about that. And I don't think we have enough books, honestly, to have a full enchanting setup, which is unfortunate. Because if we did, once we get back up to our sort of main base, we could get Fortune 3 before we waste any more diamond ore, because of course, it is always a little bit of a waste to mine diamond ore. If you don't have Fortune 3, of course. It's not a waste in general. We're going to go through here and mine all this up. And someone asked how am I doing, and I'm doing great. We're going to mine through here. I mean, well, to be more accurate, I'd be doing great if, you know, I wasn't being chased by wardens every time I try and exit my mine. But, you know, that's sort of the way things go. So we're going to keep going through here. And it looks like there's a little tunnel down here. Again, fairly risky to mine at the edge of tunnels. You don't really know what's going to be there. Looks like I broke a torch, so we'll place that back so we can see anything what we're doing. The Deep Dark is like the enemy of content creators in the sense that you can barely see what's going on. The audience is enemy too, but we'll go through here and see what we can do. So we'll mine this. Again, it's not always the best idea to mine all these sort of larger sculk blocks, things like the catalysts, the sensors, the shriekers, unless you have silk touch. But again, at this stage, we obviously have so much deep dark, it's really not going to matter at this stage. So we'll go through and break all these. And we have another super chat from a Fire Phoenix that says, here's $10, hit the warden once with your fist. Well, I can maybe try that. Once we're done mining down here, we can go back up there, and you'll notice we'll be going right through the caves, so we might have an opportunity. I suppose I might have the possibility to do that safely. We'll see what we can do, but I'll try and do that. Let's go through here. I'm gonna mine up a bunch more skulk. I guess I probably shouldn't be mining up this skulk if I'm risking dying, but hey, we're at level 30 though, which is awesome. Of course, the rate at which you increase your levels gets slower and slower as you go up, so ideally you shouldn't go too much past level 30 unless you have an amazing XP farm. The speed of this is almost rivaling the speed of, let's say, a Enderman XP farm, which is amazing, because Enderman XP farms are really, really efficient. So we'll go through here. Of course, it isn't actually sort of infinite in the sense that you'll always have to find more caves to dig through. We found a lot of redstone here, which is nice. So I'm pretty sure that warden's despawned. Unfortunately, we're just going to keep summoning them in. There's nothing really we can do about that. Thankfully, we have some baked potatoes. I didn't grab any of the potatoes that I'd harvested earlier this episode. And let's go down here. So, we're going to go up the tunnel. And let's see here. Everything in order here. We have all these half-broken pickaxes. Interesting little tip. If you look here, this has 8 durability. This has 17. 8 plus 17 is 25. And so you notice this has 37. That's a lot more than 25. And so when you're combining pickaxes, you can actually get free durability. As long as they're not combining to fully cured, of course, or fully sort of their full tool HP or their tool durability, I guess. You can get some extra XP there, which is always nice, although you would lose enchantments unless you're doing that in an anvil, and in that case the enchantments you would lose are a lot, so, or the levels you would lose is a lot. So what I really wish is there was a way to safely get up here. Now there might actually be, if it was fully dug already. The problem is it's not, and so, you know, we could pile up with wool, but again we'll have to break like at least 1 block, and that'll be enough to get that shrieker triggered. So we can sort of see the block route. We might be 1 block misaligned, which is not that bad. So we'll get these ladders sort of queued up to use. I think something really important I should do is break that shrieker, which I don't really want to do because it's pretty risky, but I'm going to have to do it. So basically, we're going to do this really quick. We're going to go through there, up there, break the shrieker. There will be a warden that'll spawn, and we'll go back down here. And someone said, is Minecraft your favorite game? And yes, Minecraft is my favorite game. Where's that shrieker? There's the shrieker. And there is a warden. And I'm not punching the warden. I'm not punching the warden, I'm sorry. I got very close to the warden though, so I suppose some of your wish was granted there. But we're gonna go back down and hopefully not die. Hey, the good news is, got rid of the shrieker, we are safe. So there were like, I think 2 or 3 more other caves where we summoned in wardens, so it's still sort of a long trek back home, but there we go. So we're gonna go through here and mine as many of the skulk as possible, and do what we can, sort of neutral task as we wait. Now I haven't looked over here. We could potentially have an issue with shriekers. I don't see any though. Okay, this probably almost definitely has a shrieker over here. We'll sort of crouch, take a little look. I don't see any actually. This is a big cave here though. I mean, there's definitely a lot of diamonds that should probably be around here. Of course, we have that nice light from the glow lichen. This is my opinion, but I'd love to hear everyone's opinion in the chat about this. What do you think of glow lichen? I feel like it's a really underrated feature. I think a lot of players sort of forgot it exists. We actually can hear up there the warden's disappeared already, it's so quick. But personally, I really like the glow lichen. I haven't used it enough. I want to use it more. If you want to know how to get it, you can grab it with shears and you can place it wherever you want. Very similarly to a vine, you just can't climb it. So we'll go up here. And someone said they sometimes confuse it with ore, and I absolutely do that as well. It's a little bit annoying that way, but I do think it's kind of a cool texture, and I almost think it's interesting because lichen, of course, in real life has a lot of varieties to it and usually really thickly covers rock, and in Minecraft it's sort of just an afterthought of the generation. But I think that potentially a cool thing to see in Minecraft in the future maybe would possibly be more types of lichen, or even just like standard lichen that would sort of generate around a normal world on like stony beaches or something like that, maybe in the Mega Taiga. Okay, so we have this pretty crazy deep dark cave here. There is no Shrieker because I got rid of it. So now it's time to get sad about the fact that we probably misaligned this tunnel. Although we might not have, and if we didn't, that'd be honestly incredibly awesome. Because I really do think we did. So we're going to find out. And we're going to basically find out as soon as we mine this block. Which we may as well mine efficiently. Did we misalign it? We did, although we actually didn't really, because it's just on the wrong side. So that's pretty good, actually. Yeah, so really, I guess what level are we at? We're at 40. So is it going to be easier to fix it this way or the other way? I guess it doesn't really matter at this stage. So, yeah, but I think we're actually safe. I don't believe... Actually, no, there is a Shrieker. Yeah, there is a Shrieker up here, right? I forgot about that. So we're going to run into another issue eventually, but for now, at least we have our tunnel itself aligned correctly. I think, honestly, the chance of that's actually fairly low. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to climb up here. I bet we could get that Shrieker, which would be really, really good. I don't know if the Shrieker was in view. Unfortunately, it probably wasn't. But if we just break all this, we could potentially get to it. I bet it's just like right up there out of view. We could maybe even, if we're really careful, use sort of our F5 to look for it. Can I see it there? I can't. Sometimes it's a good trick, actually. Use your F5 mode to sort of try and find things, and I cannot see it. So I don't know. But I'm going to say it's right up there, and if we're going to trigger it either way, something good to do, actually, if you want to do something really quickly in Minecraft, is to sort of rehearse it. And the fact that you would decide what you're going to do, sort of think about where you're going to go, and then you can do it more safely. So for instance, here we're going to remember, we'll be up there, we'll climb all the way down here, and then we'll more or less go right down that ladder. Now we can notice right here we don't have any good way of getting down the ladder, so we can make this safer by placing down ladders. But things like that can always be a good idea, as then we can now safely get down. So we're basically just going to rush break all that. I do not see the Shrieker, so we're going to get right down here. But unfortunately we'll have to go back down there again to try and find that warden. The good news is that we can hopefully get to where it is now, since we broke all that skulk if we're lucky. I definitely saw an area where that Shrieker could be. I didn't see the Shrieker, but that warden should despawn so quickly anyway. It might even be despawned by the time we get all the way down here. So we could even mine sort of a little bit higher up here and just get some XP. We may as well. I don't really see a reason why not. I actually have no idea if this area is safe to do that in or not, but we're going to find out. So let's just mine around here. And why not? I'm getting a little bit tired of wardens at this point, so we'll just be a little bit risky here. Break through a bunch of this, and I may as well grab a couple of these torches and move them over so you guys can see literally anything of what I'm doing. And we'll break all these blocks here. And you know, this is going to give us a lot of XP, so I suppose other than books, we're actually really, really on our way to getting great enchantments and great tools and armor and things like that, which is awesome. So we're going to go through here, break all that skulk, and work on that. And it's, you know, we've been doing pretty well so far, I think. Oh, look at that, diamonds. That definitely helps us with our goals, so we'll mine that. I suppose I technically shouldn't mine it, but at this point, we don't have a full enchanting setup anyway. Now, there are a couple ways we could try and get a full enchanting setup. We could always raid the Deep Dark, which, like the ancient city, that is, because there could be books there. I want to check how many books I have exactly, just to see if we have a good chance of getting Fortune 3, although I don't think we do. So we could take a look at that. And someone says take a look at the durability. You are correct, yes, the durability of my diamond toe is very low, so I will be aware of that for sure. I do have a way better diamond toe. It just isn't, it is silk touch, so we wouldn't get any experience, so we'll have to be careful about that. But we still have 127 blocks we can break, which is decent, I guess, so we'll go through here. It's funny, because sometimes when I'll see these little super light sort of blue bits. This is actually an animated texture, by the way, too. You can notice those change color. But sometimes those really light blue bits, they'll think it's diamonds that are sort of hiding underneath here. And so it's often annoying because I'll be like, oh, I found diamonds. Oh, no, I didn't. It just often will look like it, which is kind of interesting. So I'm going to go this way. I'm fairly certain that wardens despawn now. I want to definitely get a safe tunnel back up. I'm honestly really happy with this tunnel being correct. I suppose what we should do for being sort of responsible in our tunnel making is I should dig all the blocks here, just so we can actually have a way to get all the way down. I suppose the best way of doing that would be going up here, and then sort of digging down from there, just being aware to not dig the very bottom block and then fall to our death painfully, so we'll be sort of aware of that, but we can always fall onto the ladder, so it actually shouldn't matter at all. We'll go down there. Someone said, do you think it's worth it to enchant netherite armor after you upgrade it from a blank piece of diamond armor for a slight extra enchantability or not? I would say that maybe, although usually when I play the game, I already have like more or less perfect diamond armor before I'm even deciding to mine for netherite. And so for me, it's just, I'm going to upgrade my existing armor. But if you're going from scratch and you have, you know, unenchanted netherite chest plates and netherite ingots handy, yeah, you may as well enchant it after it's upgraded for sure. There's definitely a benefit to that. I would just say it all depends on sort of your initial state of what you have in terms of your armor and all that. And even this could honestly be a good place to look for some higher up diamonds, although there's probably not any. Hard to say. We'll go back up here though. And we have a super chat, and I'll read it in just a second here. We're going to go back up here. I did not hear the warden despawn, but it definitely has. Of course, our super chat thing is a funny remix someone made of me a while ago, which fits very well with this. So it says, thank you for all your Minecraft videos. I've only been playing Minecraft for a few weeks, and your videos have been very helpful and are so pleasant to watch. Keep up the great work. Well, I appreciate that a lot. I really do try and make my videos as good as possible. I want to try and cover every single subject of Minecraft, and I'm sorry to everyone watching right now that it is incredibly difficult to see what's going on. I'm having trouble myself. And I cannot see any shriekers, which is... Wait, oh no, I do see a shrieker. That might be the wrong one, though. It seems like it's out of range. So I guess we'll just have to find out. Just have to find out. So here we go. Well, that might have been it. That might not have been it. We're going to find out right now. That was not it, so we're going to go right back down. Oh boy, that's kind of funny, though, honestly. We do have a decently safe way of getting back, though. I suppose if I noticed where the warden spawned, I could have a better idea of where the sensor is. But honestly, at this point, it's sort of hard to say. Someone said I missed their donation of when they said to not break the catalyst so they can make more skulk. Sorry, I forgot to read that. But what I do tend to do is, obviously, of course, getting more skulk is good. But because we have so much deep dark around us, I would definitely agree more with never breaking the catalysts if we were, let's say, far away from a deep dark biome. But because we have such a good source of them, I don't think is a major issue at this point. But definitely, once we get our Silk Touch Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3 hoe up from our base, then we can certainly go back down, and then we can grab some of those catalysts. May as well keep mining around here until our hoe is at the lowest durability that we can sort of safely have it be at. Again, we're sort of near the edge of a cave. Always be careful with that in the deep dark. Sort of the center of caves is your safest area, because there could be an adjacent cave that contains some sensors and some shriekers, and that's oftentimes where you'll get those. So we have 48.9 durability. We'll be very careful here. 38. Just gonna keep checking it. 27. We may as well break these. Let's see. 23. We're not gonna go much lower than maybe 10. Don't be too risky. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. We're at 12. 2 more. And we're now at 10, and we're not going to use that anymore. Although I probably shouldn't have done that, actually, so I could efficiently... In fact, that was very stupid, because now I can't efficiently break the Shrieker. But what we're going to do, just because of the scenario that we're in, is we're going to mine back up there. We're just going to go up our ladder. Because as you sort of saw, we can actually see a little sliver of the sky all the way up there. At least I think I could. It's very hard to see. You can sort of see it there. It's like a single pixel. I can barely see it, though, so we go back up there. Because sort of our ladder switches sides, so the warden will definitely be gone, I'm sure. They despawn really quickly. Again, I don't know where that warden is summoning in. As long as it's summoning in an isolated cave, and we can get past it quickly, doesn't really matter that much. But, you know, of course, ideally we don't want to have a warden trap every single time we go down our staircase. We'll go back up here. And let's see. Also, something you can always do if you want is you can leave a question in the chat, maybe a certain question you have about Minecraft, and I can try to answer it to the best of my ability. Now, let's take a look around here. I just want to do one more check to see if I have a little maybe area I can just instantly see that shrieker. I don't think so because we checked this pretty well, but there's always a small chance. So at least we got rid of the other shrieker there. Could have been an issue later on. I'm sure it's just like right over here. But again, with no way of seeing it, it's not going to matter. Although we're going to summon it in either way. So we'll have to go back down here with our Silk Touch Hoe and just sort of slowly mine away at that mass of the skulk. Someone said, can you build an elevator with pistons and redstone? It is possible to build an elevator with pistons and redstone. Oh, okay, it sounds like the skulk's actually around here, or the shrieker. So if we mine that dirt potentially, we could get that later. But anyway, and someone also said in a donation that imagine if I looked down the ladder and saw the warden coming up it, and that'd be very scary. You can't actually tell if that's happening or not right now because it was the darkness effect. They're a little bit scary, but we'll break our bed here so we can have our... Well, actually, I guess we'll keep the bed here. May as well. Let's put it here. I should probably get out of here because I think it can sense me, so it might be able to get me the sonic blast from that distance, but we should be safe now. Someone said, what's the best way of getting the wither skeleton skull? Well, you just have to have looting 3 on your sword, but of course the big issue I've always found is finding the wither skeletons themselves. And so if you go to a nether fortress that's in the Soul Sand Valley, that's where you find the most of them. I would say oftentimes certain generated structures in Minecraft have a lot of benefits to finding them. Let's even say a pillager outpost, then you can get your, pillager captains for summoning raids, things like that, your allays. But the Nether Fortress in the Soul Sand Valley specifically is great because you get about 3 times as many mobs, so it enables you to get about 3 times as many wither skeletons. But still, even in full netherite armor, I've had some fairly dangerous experiences in that biome, in that fortress, because I've found fortresses like that before. So it's always good to be very careful about that. I was realizing, I think that's a cloud above us. At first I thought we hadn't crossed the cloud layer yet, but finally we're at the top. Didn't take that long. We can look all the way down there to the very bottom. We actually can't see the bottom. It's stopping sort of it's stopping sort of where we stop mining down there around where the warden is, so it's a very, very deep mine, but eventually we can at least get down there quickly. So anyway, definitely no shriekers around here to worry about. If there were, we'd have placed them ourselves. So let's quickly sort out our items just a little bit here. Always good. And of course, now that I've sort of figured out this area a little bit more, got it all sorted, I'm going to try and keep it sorted because always with something like item sorting, it's good to sort of keep it up once you've started it. Now, of course, the big issue we need is things to break the skulk with, and also fortune if we could get that, potentially. We do have the diamonds for a pickaxe, and we do also have the enchanting area. Let's see how many books we have here. I don't think anywhere near enough. No, we have 6 books. So we would need a lot more books to do that. Of course, we made 2 enchantment tables earlier on, which is quite funny. Let's take a look around here. Do we have any other books that are just sitting around? I don't think we do. We can always check for that. And it does not look like we do, so we'd either have to buy them from a villager or get a sugarcane farm. There's some options here to getting it for sure. Someone said put my chunks to 5. I'm assuming you're talking about the simulation distance. If you are, they already are at 5. If you're wondering about the render distance, no, I definitely will not have my render distance at 5 or you couldn't see the amazing mountain I'm on top of, because if anyone's wondering why that ladder took so long and you haven't been watching all this, I'm on top of an amazing mountain. We're at basically the highest mountain that can generate. You can see this is a huge mountain range. There's these beautiful valleys full of different biomes. We have some taiga around here. I believe that's snowy taiga there. It might just be grove. We have of course, a dark forest there. Over here we have a jungle. Really a beautiful seed overall, of course. And all this is really great. So basically, we need to find out some solutions to our different problems. Now, I think that at this point, if we find diamonds, we'll wait to mine them till we have fortune. I do have some books. I could check the books, see if there's anything useful there in terms of fortune, although I don't think we have a fortune book. We do not, although we do have Silk Touch, which is pretty good. Just check around here, make sure there's nothing. Here's that very great hoe I was talking to you about. I found this diamond hoe in the ancient city, which was pretty lucky. And it just was just like that with Efficiency 5, and of course, Efficiency 5 is a amazing enchantment, along with Unbreaking 3 and Silk Touch. That hoe is going to sort of be what enables us to continue raiding the Deep Dark. We're just not going to be able to get more XP from it, which is always a good thing to take note of. So we'll go through here. Let's get all these little odds and ends put away, of course. And go like this. And someone said keep the piglin and name it Dan. Well, I do have some name tags. The only problem is that I think it'll just go right back to the nether portal potentially. We also have another super chat that says, Minecraft question, why doesn't she love me anymore? I don't think that's a Minecraft question. I'd say that's a real life question. We'll put this through here. Put our snowballs in here. May as well craft these into blocks. Actually, I guess we'll keep those snowballs with us. Or nether music going. We'll go to something more overworldish. Let's see here. So we have these iron ingots. I guess we should make like some standard sort of stuff here. We have, I guess a sword would be good. We don't really need a sword. We may as well make a sword for sure. And also thank you again to everyone giving the super chats. Let's go through here, make some sticks. So we can get ourselves out of sticky situations. I won't make any more bad puns. Let's go through here. We have pickaxes, axe, shovel. I guess a hoe might be nice, but we already have this diamond hoe. We'll put away our low durability diamond hoe so we do not by accidentally use it and regret it. I would bring down that enchanted golden apple just for the sake of safety, but honestly the warden is so dangerous, it would be a waste if we used it anyway. So we'll put some of these cobble blocks away. Someone said put the piglin in the boat. I can put it in the boat. That's pretty easy. Get in the boat out here. There we go. Well, if it stays there, I suppose it can stay. Let's go through here. So I guess we can just keep the rest of these blocks on us. We'll put these away here. Here's a great question for everyone. What do you do in terms of storage in Minecraft? Do you tend to make a big storage system? Or do you often just sort of place your items in randomly? To be honest, I need to definitely get better at item management, but I'm going to try in this world to do the best I can. So let's see here. I guess we can put the iron away. We may as well make some shears though for that wool. Definitely bringing some wool back with us is very much a good idea. Vital idea, really. We'll bring the light blue this time, because why not? And we'll put away the rest of those planks as I frantically look through my chests here, even though we don't really have a rush. So let's go through here. We'll put away the iron, I suppose. And here's a great question for everyone. How has your Saturday been? Hopefully it's been a good Saturday, but if not, I hope that this stream makes it just a little bit better. We can hear Granny Smith, our parrot there, making zombie sounds. There's probably a zombie around. But let's get that warden. It's been bothering me a little bit that we haven't been able to get it so far. The trick is I'm not sure how we'll get it without first having it sort of, without having the warden summon in before we can break the shrieker. We might have to just wait a bit. Oh, something I forgot actually I'm going to go back up for is torches. Torches are really important when exploring the Deep Dark for obvious reasons. The only problem, of course, is that placing torches can definitely summon in the warden. And someone says they like a small organized storage system at first. As they progress, they usually make a huge system with double chest for each item, label them using item frames. I definitely like using item frames to label chests. Sometimes I'll even do item frames and signs. I've seen some people do some cool tricks where they sort of combine those things into a really interesting way of labeling their storage. But definitely I would say storage is something that's quite interesting in Minecraft. I know some different YouTubers have been talking about a Minecraft inventory update as a possibility. Personally, I don't really think Minecraft needs an inventory update, but of course I wouldn't be against really any cool new features being added to the game. But to me, I always sort of like the challenge of organizing an inventory, getting a big storage together. I've played games before where the inventory system is really basic, and more or less you can have, 1,000 items in a stack, things like this, but it kind of makes things lose value, as then you can have just so many things stored in a single area. It also makes it a lot more unrealistic and makes sort of storage areas be unimportant, really. Alright, so we can see down here, we can't really fall down past where the warden is. If those blocks weren't there, what we could actually do is we could literally fall straight down. Now, something I remember last time from just hearing it is that the warden's block may potentially be, the shrieker may potentially be behind that dirt. So we're going to be really careful here. We actually don't have to be careful, but we're just going to go down here. We're going to mine that dirt because, whatever. We might actually wait till the warden's fairly mad. We're going to try and find where that shrieker is, though. I guess we'll get out here a little bit. It's kind of annoying, because again, I really don't know how I'm going to get to that warden effectively, which is quite annoying, but we'll go back up here, and we'll wait for that warden to despawn, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but just as the super chat, or as the notification said, the shriekers are not warning level 1, actually, they're at warning level 4, which means every time we set one off, we'll have a warden spawn. So we'll just mine some dirt here, which kind of sounds useless, but we actually need some dirt for our farm. And we have another super chat that says, give Dan a helmet. If I have a helmet when I come back up, I can definitely give one. And we have another super chat from John James, and it says, any tips on getting through Bedrock in the Nether? Yeah, so something I've been actually thinking of doing a video on for a while is how to go through Bedrock in the Nether to get to the Nether ceiling. Unfortunately, I haven't made that video yet. I do have a very old video which does have accurate information, although it's quite cringy, where I talk about breaking Bedrock. So technically, if you looked up how to break Bedrock in Minecraft under my channel page, you would see that, and those tricks I do believe still work in the newest version, but I definitely do want to come up with some things for that. In terms of tricks, if you're doing the TNT spamming method, something you can always do is back up your world before trying it, as sometimes the TNT can explode you, and I've had times where I'm doing that and I'll actually have a piece of TNT destroy a shulker box next to me, which is incredibly frustrating, of course. Alright, so again, we have to really find out where this warden is summoning in. I wish I had a fully efficient shovel, but I don't. I think this time we're going to sort of escape past it. Now again, we're going to just basically have to do the same thing, where we sort of try and find that shrieker, all those things. It's probably right through here. In fact, yeah, there's the shrieker right there. So we're just going to try and get out of here as soon as possible. But hey, the good news is we know where that shrieker is. We can grab that shrieker, and we're not going to have to worry about any more wardens spawning any other times. And it looks like the warden's actually coming after me, because I heard it take full damage, which is not a good thing. So we're just going to keep going down here. We have a super chat that says, I'm fairly certain you're actually at warning level 47. Yeah, I think I am at a very, very high warning level there. The wardens are definitely summoning every single time that I upset them. So I'm going to go through here. We do have the Silk Touch hoe now, which is kind of fun. So we're going to get all these sculk blocks when we mine them, and maybe our next building project should be made entirely out of sculk blocks. That could be fun for sure. We may as well try it. It means no XP, but it also means we could do something with this. I made a video somewhat recently talking about 20 things you can do with sculk blocks, so maybe I'll sort of take a page from my own book, and we will look at some of those that we could potentially make. As even the great thing about sculk blocks is they make a fantastic looking sort of space theme. There are some really strange similarities between the sculk blocks and also the end portal frame blocks. I don't really know why, but there are some similarities, and I see some diamonds here, which is perfect. Well, we're really in uncharted territory here, so we're going to have to be careful in terms of potential shriekers, although I don't see any. I don't see any shriekers here, so we should be okay. We'll find out, I guess, how okay we are once we have a warden summon in, but there's sometimes one sort of deep in cracks like this, and it's quite frustrating to get to them. We seem to be okay, so let's mine. I guess I said I wasn't going to mine any more diamonds, well, I really want to, so we'll see how many diamonds there are there just for the interest of it. I know some people always like doing that, is mining around the diamonds. It looks like 3, but we'll find out. Go around here. And it does indeed look like it is 3 diamonds, like that, so that's not too bad, really. We're going to mine back up here, and I guess we'll just keep collecting these blocks. I'm sure that wardens despawn now. They despawn very, very quickly, and I'm so glad that we can finally have a safe way of getting down to our mining system. At least getting diamonds hasn't been the big issue so far. And it's gone through this. And we have another donation from the Pirate Phoenix that says, $20 left, lol. Had about 100 at the start. Well, you've definitely been donating a lot, and thank you very much for all the donations. You definitely don't have to, but I certainly appreciate them. Let's go through here. So we could mine all the redstone, things like that. Again, the same reason with the other things. Until we have fortune, it's not really worth it. So potentially something we should do is sort of explore around and just aimlessly kill cows and gather sugar cane, although that's not necessarily the quickest way to do things. So we're gonna go back up here. We're gonna get rid of that shrieker, although I do believe it'll be impossible to do so without setting off the warden, so we'll just have to deal with that one more time, but that's not too bad. We've done it a lot already. And someone said, what's the best way to sort your inventory? Well, I guess it depends on if you're asking sorting your inventory or sorting your chests. And in terms of sorting your inventory, hotbar management, things like that. Generally, I would say sort of having your tools and food, things like that set up as I have right now. Sword, pickaxe, axe. I guess actually not a second pickaxe there, but generally I would suggest having it some more like this, just so you have standard sword, then fortune pickaxe, or maybe silk touch, then fortune, then axe, shovel, hoe, and everything else in your inventory, maybe just sort of having like groups of things together. There's some things you can do to sort of move around blocks more quickly and stuff like that. Like if you have a lot of blocks laid out, you can double click to get them all in a pile. So little tricks like that. We'll go back up here. We are going to set off that shrieker, guaranteed. But we can also break the shrieker. And we're going to run back through. And there's the warden right there. We can literally see it. And we're going to try and get back down here before we die. This warden is definitely now in a scenario in which it can get to us, so we're going to be really careful here and head back down. And the warden is definitely trying to get to us for sure. So certainly a dangerous situation there, but not too bad at the end of the day. We could actually get a little bit further away. I'm not sure if we're far away enough yet. And someone said they love my streams. Well, thank you so much. I always try and do my best with these. I know I'm a very new Minecraft streamer in the sense that my channel isn't new at all, but I haven't been streaming for very long. This is my 5th stream ever, so thank you to everyone for watching it. And hopefully I can just continue to exponentially increase the quality of them as time goes along. Well, let's grab a couple more of these skulk building blocks. I think that a great thing about using the skulk as a building block is that because it is sort of animated, it really adds a lot of detail to different builds, maybe a magical look to things. Even the skulk veins themselves can be really great for building. So we'll go through here. I thought I'd seen a diamond underneath there, but I hadn't. And as I was saying earlier, sometimes I'll have things happen where I think more or less I will have found a skulk vein, or I'll find a diamond vein underneath skulk. But in reality, it just was a skulk vein that looked like it had diamonds underneath it. So a vein underneath a vein that wasn't actually a vein. That makes any sense. And we'll go through here. We'll continue to collect all these, placing the torches down again. We haven't been too lucky with finding diamonds underneath here. We're not at the lowest Y level either. We're pretty low though. We're at -45, so definitely a lot of potential still to find secret diamonds that generated underneath here. And we now at least have some skulk catalysts there if we want to do some mining of the skulk. Of course, when I broke that shrieker, I wasn't able to pick it up, which is unfortunate. So we could actually probably grab it on our way back up, as it could potentially do that. And I just realized there could easily be shriekers up here, so we're going to be really careful, because there could totally be one right up here, and that would be not good. We'll take a little look though. I don't see any. Thankfully, shriekers are not very common inside of the deep dark. They're only really common inside of the ancient cities, but of course we got somewhat unlucky with our caving there, so I don't see any shriekers here. We should be fine. We'll find out, I guess. Again, sort of with these things, as long as you have a good escape route, wardens are usually not that dangerous. The trick is just to always sort of go against your standard Minecraft instincts to fight hostile mobs, and to just run away from them, really. So we're going to go back up here, and we are going to work on that. And someone said they love how the sensor item in the inventory is animated. Here's something really cool, actually. Any single item in Minecraft that has a texture animation, so like for instance a torch doesn't, because it just has the particles coming off of it. But anything that has a texture animation will have it in the inventory as well. So you can even see, it's very hard to see, but even the skulk here is slightly changing in its texture. The skulk vein is. Same with, let's say, kelp or seagrass. Or actually, kelp doesn't, but seagrass does. And so it's sort of a cool thing there where with almost every single block you get that added benefit of seeing the animation of it, because items are rendered really weirdly in the inventory, to be honest. It's sort of a strange mechanic, but overall it's a pretty cool thing. So we'll go up here. We're going to hope that we're safe now. I didn't hear a warden summoning, so we should be safe. And there's that infamous shrieker right there that we're going to grab. It's going to be pretty cool to have, actually. Sort of a trophy of some sort, that we've now finally made this thing safe, and we can maybe make a little sort of build dedicated to that. I suppose now what I should do, although it's a little bit boring, is finish digging this ladder so we can have a way of getting straight down here, although we're going to get a little bit of fall damage finishing it, but it's not too much of an issue. And we're going to keep mining all this. And let's take a look here. So we have one more block down here to get rid of, and I think that's actually the entire tunnel done. We just, of course, have to decide which side we're going to keep the ladders on, because they're sort of spanned across both of them right here. And we have a super chat from Dave Mason, which says, "Great content, my guy. You have way more patience than I ever did with all those wardens." Wardens can definitely be quite frustrating, but I found with most things, if I just sort of persevere through it, it'll be better than waiting. Now, right now, we have about 200 blocks above us of ladder, and below us we have about 100 blocks of ladder. And so because of that, we're actually going to want to get rid of the ladders on this side to make our tunnel all the way down. So we're going to do that real quick, and although it's a little bit boring, really important to make sure that you have an efficient and effective tunnel for your strip mine, as of course having to change directions, all these different things really make it a lot worse. But the good news is it's very easy to mine ladders, as you can see right here, almost as quick as just walking down them, so we can have a really easy and safe way of getting down here. And you might be asking, why have I not, let's say, blocked up the area around here? After all, there are shriekers and things like this. Not just because there's no hostile mobs that spawn here, there's no direct risk. Unless we start exploring around here, we're not going to have an issue with any of those wardens summoning in. We'll keep going here. And I would mine that coal. We might do it on the way back there, actually. It seems like it's really high up for coal, but it's not. It's just that, unfortunately, all these skulk blocks are generating very high up, whereas normally you only see them below, let's say, -20, -30 usually. We have run out of axe. We're going to have to be a little bit slower, but thankfully mining ladders is actually quite quick. Someone says that I have a question. Doesn't it feel strange, the fact that a stone pick is made from cobblestone and not stone? That is true, although of course a furnace has to be made with cobblestone, and so and of course to craft a stone pick you would need smooth stone or standard stone, and so because of that it would be basically impossible to get one if it wasn't made that way. But that is definitely true, although of course with black stone and deep slate, cobbled deep slate, which you can make those tools out of as well, they also are sort of the cobbled variety, although there isn't really a cobbled black stone, it's sort of just cobbled in its standard form. But let's make the ladder on the correct side now. I'm really happy that we did not misalign it that much. It's pretty cool to be able to see a very small, 2 or 3 pixels of the sky above us, which is quite nice. So we can have this sort of naturally lit tunnel going all the way down to the depths of the world. Even though it took some effort, it wasn't that much time, and now we have this great ladder and this great system of getting all the way down here that we can very easily eventually turn into a water elevator without any risk of warden summoning for sure. And someone said I forgot to pick up the diamond. I did not forget to pick up the diamond. We're going to wait till I get a fortune pickaxe, as I do have enough diamonds for most things, but we'll need a full-on enchanting table to get all of our perfect items and weapons anyway. And so there's not too much of a point of mining that before we have fortune, even if we don't really get anything from it. We wouldn't be making any more tools anyway, as I would probably just make a pickaxe and I would enchant it, and then I would sort of disenchant it if it didn't get the right enchantment, using level 1 enchantments, things like that, and I'll go more into that a little bit later. But we'll go all the way up here, our ladder. It's a very long ladder, although it doesn't take too long, and I will read some questions here. Someone says, how do you not feel lonely when playing Minecraft without live streaming or filming a video? Well, I certainly don't need thousands of people watching me to not... I'm not having thousands watching me right now, but I certainly do not normally need lots of people watching me to not feel lonely, although something I'll often do is maybe watch a video as I'm playing Minecraft. Not always. I found for me personally, it's really good to focus on just the game, so I can make sure to do it as effectively as possible. But of course, if I'm just mining out a massive space, maybe doing basic strip mining, then oftentimes I might be on a call with someone, or maybe I'll just watch a video or something, which can always be a nice thing to do, is sort of relax with Minecraft and a video up. I'm sure some people right now are maybe strip mining or doing other basic tasks in Minecraft while watching this stream. And someone says, will I get diamond armor? And I will be getting diamond armor soon once I have the right ways of getting that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go find the materials to get the rest of those bookshelves. Now we're going to need, I believe, 15 bookshelves. And we're going to go back up here. We already have 5, so we only need 10, which means 30 leather. And it looks like the pigman did not despawn, which is pretty cool there. We'll need about 30 leather, which is not an impossible amount. The amount of sugarcane is fairly high. But again, I don't think it's impossible either to find that, so potentially a big exploration to find that could be a good idea. We could also maybe try and get a pufferfish for our water tunnel, something like that. Definitely we'll have to go through a long process to get anything in this world, because we're still early game. But there we have our Skulk Shrieker. Maybe we'll make something with that a little bit later here. Let's put away our wool and all of that, so we keep this nice and organized. Put away our snowballs, of course. And the tuff we can put over here. Something I've often found, you'll see in some really professional Minecraft players' videos, like let's say Dream or people like this, is they'll often have a massive amount of different types of items in their inventory. So for instance, they can use them for lots of different scenarios, like let's say maybe having a water bucket or things like that. That was a very strange sound this parrot made. It sounded like almost like a phantom or something, which is quite funny. I'm not sure where a phantom would be. But it's quite interesting how having a large amount of items in your inventory can of course make your inventory management harder, but also give you more options in case of a emergency or just sort of an issue. So let's make these sticks, not a crafting table, and we'll go over here and we will make an axe to fill up that. Now of course we do still have to work on getting those books, so let's put away the rest of any items we have on us we don't need. And let's think of the best place to go for sugarcane. Now sugarcane generates the most in 2 places. The first one is the swamp, the second one is the desert. Now none of those are nearby us as far as I know, so really anywhere next to the ocean is going to be fine. I do believe we have some sugarcane. We do, we actually have 58. So something we could do as well, which could be smart, is to potentially just make a sugarcane farm, and then hope that it's grown enough by the time we come back from all the cow here, and we can make a sugarcane farm. It's actually a beautiful night out here, the new moon, sort of perfect music for it as well. I love these sort of moments in Minecraft where you can really take in the atmosphere of a Minecraft world and really just enjoy it to the fullest extent what the game creators were trying to make with this game. It's pretty cool. So we can of course see all that, which is really nice. But anyway, something that is not so sort of atmospheric and enjoyable is getting blown up by a creeper, so we're going to sleep to make sure that doesn't happen. And of course then we can make this farm. So I guess we'll need some dirt. We'll go through here and we'll get our dirt. And of course about a stack of dirt should be fine. We can go up here and I can make a simple sugarcane farm. Nothing too complicated, but I will show off an interesting method of making an efficient sugarcane farming setup, which some of you may find interesting. Again, for anyone just joining the stream, what's sort of going on is the whole point about this is upgrading our stuff. You may be wondering, how does a sugarcane farm help that? Well, it helps that because in part of this process, we're going to need books for enchanting. So to get more of those, we're going to have a sugarcane farm. And we have another super chat that says, press FN plus F3 plus N for a secret. Well, there are some things you can do with F3 to enable things like chunk borders and stuff like that. But also some of those do some crazy things. I don't exactly remember what F3 plus N does, so I'll probably not try that one. But let's go over here. Actually, we'll probably go as close as possible to make sure that it's loaded in. I guess we can go maybe here. I don't really want to mine into the snow that much. We might just have to. Go on top of it too, I guess. Doesn't matter too much at this stage. So you can always make a sugarcane farm sort of with strips of dirt like this, and that does work. But something you can also do as well, which works a little bit better, is you can make it in the most efficient method. So basically you lay in an area with completely dirt, then you mine out a block strategically. So we'll mine this block, and we'll sort of go 2 blocks over, 1 block's this way. So there's a zombie trying to get me. 2 blocks over, 1 block this way. Actually, I think that would go here. And we basically make sort of a network of these blocks around here. And the first step is actually to make an infinite water source. So let me do that quickly here. We can just use this ice to do it. We won't even have to use our water bucket, not like it really matters. And if I had, actually what I can do here, here's a good trick. Use ladders or some other thing to waterlog it, so these things do not end up basically freezing over. So it's always good to make sure your water does not freeze if you're in a cold biome, or in my case, on top of a mountain. But right here now what I can do is I can place my sugarcane like this. Even the sugarcane looks a bit cold, it's quite a wintergreen color, and you can notice it's actually freezing over here, so we may as well place a ladder in all of these as well. I don't usually do this with ladders as it's not the best item, but it's what we have on us, and we need to be efficient here. Now what you notice is that this is fully covering all the blocks in sugarcane except for one. So there's a much greater ratio of basically sugarcane to water. There's way more sugarcane for every water block. Not always the best option depending on what you're doing, but can definitely be a good one just if you want a farm that's really compact. This is certainly the best way of doing it. So I'll place another water block. Let's see here, if this one is going like this, we'll want to go 2 over, and I suppose one would be here. So we'll just have to sort of extend over the dirt and grab some more water and sort of go around here. And of course, the only issue is it does take a little bit longer to build, of course, as you do have to sort of worry about every single water block, whereas normally you wouldn't need to. But we'll go like this, and we'll continue on building this. And someone says, you can put protection 4 on Elytra. Do you know if it actually works? Well, you can only put protection 4 on Elytra if you're in creative mode, so I don't think it really matters if it works or not. And I don't think it would, just because protection 4 modifies the current status of the armor's protective value. So if that value is 0, I don't think that would do anything, although I haven't tested it, to be honest, because I don't really play that much in creative mode, of course. Not really at all, and of course not on any survival worlds, so we'll go through here and place that and make sure all these things are not going to freeze over, and continue going. Now this one is going to go 2 over, 1 over like this. Again, always kind of cool to try different sugarcane farm designs. Sugarcane farming is sort of a basic feature of Minecraft, so it's always good to get those basic features correct, I would always say. And someone says, what's the best food for regenerating quickly? Well, the best food for regenerating quickly is golden carrots for sure. Now technically it's actually the dandelion suspicious stew. The problem with the dandelion suspicious stew is that it's actually a decent amount of effort to have in your inventory and sort of to keep it around. So that's why most people wouldn't really suggest it. But you could always use that as well if you want to. So technically the best is the dandelion suspicious stew. But in terms of practicality, you just want a lot of golden carrots, which of course you can have from villagers. Some people like crafting them, but I found that almost always it's a much better idea to get them from villagers, just because something a lot of people don't know is that you can breed pigs with carrots as well as potatoes and beetroot, not just carrots. And so because of that, there's not actually a really good reason to have a carrot farm in Minecraft at all. Of course you always can if you want, but because there's not a massive reason, then you can save yourself on one farm and not make that carrot farm, because you can just have potatoes, and then you wouldn't have to bother with that either, because of course you would have the golden carrots from the villagers, and you wouldn't need that sugarcane farm then, or the carrot farm then, that is. So this is going to align over as well. Just have to go 1 block, I believe. It's always so funny to figure out the math with this because it's sort of a strange pattern, but I believe that water block would be right here. And then that's almost going to be all of our sugarcane placed in this sort of overcomplicated yet technically more efficient sugarcane farm design. And of course the only other sort of standard design is to use the sort of rows of crops and things. This can always be a good thing as well, but in just a second here, we'll stop this less than interesting sugarcane farming, and we're going to go on to some amazing exploring, get ourselves some cows, hopefully find a plains biome. I may journey somewhat near to the spawn point for that, just because I know there's a big plains biome there. We'll figure out our way that way, so we'll do that. And we have another super chat that says, they have a math question for me in a super chat, which I do not have the time to try and answer. I'm not sure if I took that exact math course it would have to do with that. I think I could solve that, but it looks a little bit too complicated to solve over this stream, unfortunately. So we're going to go around here like that, and let's see if we can place the last water. I guess it'll go about here, so we'll just place these blocks like that. Place the water, place the sugar cane, and as we let this grow, we can go adventure around for that leather and continue on sort of gathering as much sugar cane and leather as possible. Something we should also do is make a second axe, and that way we can get some wood, and with that wood then we can of course make those bookshelves, but we can also stock up our supply as we do not have a tree farm currently, so we definitely need some good sources to get logs and wood and planks and things like that. And someone says that they love my videos and they're from India, and thank you so much for that. I really appreciate my audience from all around the world. So let's see, we're gonna put away those ladders, but other than that, we're actually doing pretty good in terms of items. But something, if people are just joining, is be sure to follow me on all my social medias. I do put this up a lot, but I found that it really is helpful. And things like, let's say, my Twitter there, Eyecraft_MC. I'm trying to be really active on there, and I think that you'll find it quite interesting if you follow me on there. I've been having some sneak peeks to videos. You can actually find out a hint to what Monday's video is if you follow me on Twitter. Also, there's the Discord server. Something really exciting is that we're going to have some events on there at one point somewhat soon, where you could even potentially make it into a video. So if you want to feature in an Eyecraftmc video potentially, be sure to join the Discord. There should be a link in the chat. And as well as that, of course, there is the Reddit, and there is the Twitch, and there is my second channel, so be sure to check those out as well. I'm just going to get a quick water break here. Alright, so go back here to Minecraft, and basically we need to decide exactly where we're going to be exploring. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to head near to the spawn point again. I know we keep going there, and I suppose technically if we could make... In fact, I shouldn't just say this, I should do it. Maybe what we should honestly do is we should make another tunnel. We should really make another tunnel, actually, because that'll save time. That's also going to sort of build more infrastructure in our world, which is something that I keep talking about but not really doing that much. So maybe we'll do that. So let's grab these magma... Actually, I won't grab the magma blocks, but we'll grab some sort of nice decorative corner blocks, this obsidian, we have the pickaxes already, we'll make some more torches, and let's make a portal that just travels to 0, 0, and we could probably shave off a bunch of time and confusion off of our journey, and also make a way to travel at the same time, which is definitely awesome to do those two things at once, so we'll do that. Let's see what we need to do. We'll just put away this coal. Let's make that nether tunnel. So let's jump into some interesting tips to making another tunnel if we go through here. Basically, the first thing that's really important to know about making another tunnel is that 8 blocks in the overworld is 1 block in the nether. And so because of that, we just want to get to 0, 0 here, which is actually going to be really, really close. We just have to start by killing this skeleton more or less to protect ourselves. And we'll do that. But more or less, we'll go this way. It looks like that ghast is actually stuck there, which is very much tempting me to go over there to get it. It's definitely stuck, it looks like, anyway, so look at that, completely stuck ghast. That's pretty cool. We'll just grab this ghast right here, and it looks like we had a piece of gunpowder, but no ghast here, so nothing crazy there. But still, and we have a super chat that says, love your vids, keep it up, dude, and thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and I definitely will. I want to level up my content as much as I can and just get it better and better in the future. So we're basically just going to mine this way, and this might seem like a little bit of time. It's actually going to be very, very quick. In fact, something we could even do to make it quicker is we could start by just going as far as we can with just a simple path, which may look like it only saves a couple blocks, but really any sort of saving of time is going to help a lot. So we're going to go this way and go over here. And someone says in the chat, I'm missing donations. I've been trying to read everyone I see, but sorry to anyone if I missed your super chat there. I've been trying my best to read them all. Let's go this way with the torches in our offhand. Now, one trick I found I die a lot in the nether this way is to make sure to have a block really close by. So if you run into lava, because it's very possible doing this, to place a block in front of you so you don't die. Those sort of tricks are really things that can save you a lot. Another interesting thing you could do is, unlike the overworld where you have a full bucket with you, bring an empty bucket with you to the nether. Then you can pick up that lava in case it comes flowing towards you really quickly. In terms of coordinates, we're really close where we have to go. Just 20 blocks this way and 60 blocks the other way. And of course, a simple tunnel like this can later be upgraded into potentially an ice tunnel or something like that. Someone says, do you know all the exclusive Java enchantments? I do, because there's just one. It's called Sweeping Edge 3, and more or less it's just a simple small enchantment that makes swords have more damage to the side enemies that they hit. It's honestly not a big deal at all, and I wouldn't mind if it wasn't in the game, although it can be useful for things like, let's say, Enderman farms. That is the only enchantment that is exclusive to Java Edition. So we're really close here to 0-0, which is awesome, because that was a very short amount of tunneling, and that's going to be so much quicker than traveling through all the mountains. I think ideally something we could do is actually have another portal link that goes from the top of the mountain to the bottom. That could honestly be a really great idea. So we'll go through here. Again, all these sort of pre-made nether tunnels for us, which is always nice. And we'll go through here, and we're basically at 0-0 now. So we'll just sort of mine out the space and do that. And something that's kind of interesting is that if you have a very large nether tunnel, or a very large nether portal that is, sometimes different blocks, if you sort of go through a certain block of the portal, it'll teleport you to a certain area, but if you go through a different block of the portal, you'll teleport to a different area. So oftentimes really large portals, it's good to make sure that they're not linked up to multiple portals themselves, which is sort of a strange thing that can actually sometimes happen. So go through here, we're going to light this portal, and basically we're going to see what's on the other side. Hopefully we're not somewhere very strange, but I think we should be just at the spawn point, safe and ready to get ourselves some interesting items. So it is nighttime and raining, and we do not have a bed, which is ironic. But we'll run towards this village. Let's just mark down the coordinates real quick before we regret it. But we're definitely at the spawn point here, which is perfect. I hear all the animals we're going to need to get. In fact, I hear a sheep, so if we could get a couple sheep, then we could easily just make a bed there and not even have to worry about sleeping. And I should not have killed that, because I have shears on me. That was very stupid. Let's hope we can find another sheep. There's a creeper there. We could fight the creeper viciously. A vicious creeper. Let's see. The trick of fighting creepers is just to get back from them as far as you can after you hit them every time. Creepers also spawn in groups, so if you find one creeper, there's very likely other ones next to it. But we may as well just run to the village, I suppose. Although I don't want to really risk it. We may as well just run. After all, as long as we can get there in time and sleep, then we can fairly easily kill any zombies that are trying to kill the villagers, which is really the only issue of doing that. So there's lots of cows and stuff here, which is perfect. In fact, if we steal some wheat that they might potentially have at that village, then we could even really easily breed the cows and kill them after they've been bred. So we try and keep as much of the population as possible, and we're going to aim for that closest house. Someone said they wish you could keep fish alive while fishing in Minecraft, and it definitely would be cool if you could do that. Although even though you can't do that, it's still definitely a cool thing that in Minecraft you can pick up fishes and buckets and do all that. So we're going to go through here, we're going to sleep instantly, and then we're going to make sure that we are not endangering any of the villagers, of course, as potentially these would be villagers. In fact, very likely these would be villagers that we would bring to our base just because of their close proximity. So let's look around here for any zombies. I do see that creeper there. I don't see any zombies. I suppose if I wasn't as sort of wanting to live up in the mountains, we could have always settled around here. But I feel like that would be so much more boring, it wouldn't be worth it. So I don't see any zombies that are going after villagers, so I think we're good. But we'll take a little look around here for any wheat. I might have raided it already. In fact, I'm fairly certain I did. But we can still take a little look. We can get rid of this creeper here that's in our way, because why not? It's always good to make sure to get a critical hit with things like this. That was a very bad creeper kill there. But generally the trick is to hit it on the way down when you're kind of jumping, so you don't have to have as much of an issue, and we'll just try and patch that up as much as possible. Sure is nice that TNT doesn't destroy any blocks that it breaks anymore, or it destroys them but it doesn't destroy the items, which is quite nice. So let's go over here And we're going to get rid of all those cows we can find. And again, welcome to anyone just joining on the stream. I hope you're enjoying it. We are getting some cows so we can get enchanting to upgrade our armor and sort of go through all the stages of this that we can. So we're going to go over here and let's take a look. So if we go over here, it looks like we have some sugarcane actually, so we could always pick that up while we're waiting. We'll, of course, break it from the second block upwards. I think I grabbed that sugarcane earlier as well, but I honestly can't remember. Interesting little trick you can do actually is to light the cows on fire, and while they're on fire to kill them, because even if you didn't kill them with a flame sword, they're still going to drop that cooked beef. So that's kind of a cool little trick if you have a flint and steel with you, and it definitely saves some time, especially if you need super quick, effective food. Flint and steel is actually incredibly overpowered for that, although of course it depends on the scenario a lot, but still, before you have the flame sword, that can be great. So we only have 3 leather, we need 30 leather, just for a comparison, but I guess only having killed, like, whatever that is, maybe 3 cows. Killing 30 cows isn't that much of an issue, honestly. I think we'll be able to find them. The great thing about the spawn point is that a lot of mobs tend to generate in at the spawn point, and so because of that it should be fairly easy to come back here later and grab some more. Although mob spawning does work a lot differently between Bedrock and Java. And in Java, mob spawning is a bit broken, where oftentimes what will happen is the spawn point of the world will get fully filled up with all the mobs, and then after the initial world generation mobs, you won't really get any more. But thankfully, because we're at the spawn, that issue isn't present at all. In fact, it's sort of better if it's not fixed, because we'll get more mobs here. So look around the plains biome. I'm sure that plains biome there has a lot of mobs in it. As long as eventually we can find some mobs to bring back to our base, which we basically always can, because we do have the spawn point linked now, which I definitely think was a great idea, is to get that portal moved over. Then we can really easily do that. So we're going to go this way, and we are going to get ourselves the necessary mobs to just basically have our next resources for enchanting. It looks like that iron golem is unfortunately stuck. Maybe it's not stuck, I think it just is swimming maybe. So maybe I was very rude to push it out of its swimming there, but either way I guess it's saved if it was stuck. We'll go this way though, and it looks like I've definitely been to this part because I made a little tunnel through the leaves there. I was planning to see the villager use that. It looks like we have some fresh mobs generating around here. There's some pigs over there. We probably won't get the pigs. I see a pillager outpost actually, that's great. Guess we can do a little bit of exploration. Looks like there's, I may as well explore really. There's some sheep, I would get them, we don't really need them. That is an ice spike actually, that's really cool. I'll zoom in there so everyone can see it. But that is an ice spike in the distance, and there's also another village, so that's some stuff, honestly. We have that, and let's go over here. And basically we'll just keep getting all these cows, but this is a beautiful plains biome. If you ever want to do something here, we could... Oh, don't set yourself on fire when doing that trick. But anyway, it's definitely a useful thing to have, and I might not be able to kill this one in time before it... Oh no, we did. We have a super chat that said they made my goat farm, but it didn't work. The goat farm is unfortunately for Java Edition only, although I do believe if you modified it a bit, you could probably use it in Bedrock. More or less the way that goat farm works is that the goats will try and kill the armor stands, and when they go towards the armor stands, a block will be placed up in front of them, and then what will happen is their horn will be broken off by those naturally generating blocks. But I'm sorry if that farm didn't work for you. It definitely does work in Java Edition for sure, and you can always watch back over the video if you are in Java to experiment with that again. So let's get this cow some more. We'll try and kill that. And it's so awesome, honestly, we have all this great stuff around here. I mean, this is a very flat plains biome, and there's so many cows here. We're going to get everything we need really quickly, which is awesome, and I'm sure also we'll get some more cows here later. Something I never really like doing is sort of what I'm doing right now, going through the world, killing lots of mobs around just because you go back through and the world seems kind of dead. But at the end of the day, I think that as long as we have some more generating in, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So we'll go through here, we'll sort of try and interrupt those cows' path with a double flint and steel there. And we'll get this one here. We're getting very close to the pillager outpost. Now, now that I'm thinking about it, actually we could get an allay there, so we could always look for an allay. That would be very cool, and then we could have the audience name the allay, which I'm sure is very exciting, and if there's multiple allays, then we could have multiple names, so we'll find out about that in a second there. We do have some decent stuff on us, so we may as well try that. But there we go. 15 leather too, that's awesome, we're halfway there. I got all kinds of great mobs here, and we could technically even bring some of them back to our base, but we'll probably wait to do that. So it's like the perfect raid farm too. We have the village right next to the pillager outpost, so let's explore over here and do this. And while you're watching this stream, I'd really encourage you to like the stream. It really helps it reach more people. Maybe even share the stream. Try and get as many people to watch it as possible. Enjoy our awesome adventure here. But definitely liking the stream is a really great way of sort of just increasing its reach and getting more people to enjoy this kind of content. So we're going to go over here. I do see some sugarcane generating next to the water, so it's awesome to have a massive biome like this with lots of resources, because it really does give us the opportunity and sort of the method of having a great way of getting all these resources easily. And I see some allays, which is awesome. So we're going to explore through here, and I see lots of allays actually. That's really awesome. That's amazing, really. There's a pillager. Be careful, but there's one allay cage, 2 allay cage. That might be it. There's not a lot of pillagers actually, which is rare because we got to it so close. So if we go away from it and come back, it'll be more dangerous. Might even just be this singular pillager. Of course, the way that pillagers generate into the game, we'll eventually have more because there's spawn floors here, but still, went like the longest possible route up the outpost here. Looks like that pillager shot behind itself, which is a little bit glitched, but let's go up here and let's take a look at what we have. And let's see here, we have all these items. They're nothing of value, but that's okay. Really unfortunate we did not get a goat horn there. I would have definitely used that, but that's okay. From our view up here, we can notice that is definitely, of course, an ice spikes biome. There's more pillagers around now, so we'll have to be careful. But I suppose we'll have to bring back our ally army. Now, what we could do, because we can't kill an ally once it's tamed to us, or they're not really ever tamed to you, but sort of, you know, collecting items for you, then we can do that. But let's be careful here with these pillagers. We don't really have a good method of defeating them. So there's 2 allays here. We'll give 1 leather and 1 steak. And we'll run over here and get the other allays, but that's pretty awesome. An allay rescue. Let's see what we can do. We have a super chat that says name an allay Bob. Well, I will have a thing where everyone tries to name an allay, and we'll go through here. But you can definitely suggest the name of Bob if you want an allay named that. And we're going to go this way, and we're going to break this, and it looks like there's just 2 allays here as well. I believe it's 1 to 3 allays you get in here, so we'll again have 1 with steak. That one should not have a fence, but that's okay. We'll just stick with that for now to get them out of here safely. And we'll just escape back here to the other side of the river. And the pillagers can be really quick. But we've had a lot of adventures here so far for sort of almost something that was going to just be strip mining, so that's awesome. Let's get these allays over here. Look at them, we have all 4. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start by getting rid of this. And we are going to, let's see, we have our leather. And we have this one. The pillagers are still after me, which is amazing. So we're just going to keep running, I suppose. But as I'm... Oh, that's not good. I think they hit one of the allays. We better get out of here quick. Good thing they regenerate their health. That's a great thing about the allay is that they do regenerate their health, and they do so rather quickly. But still, it's something important to be aware of. We do not have a bed on us, so we should probably actually sort of escape to this village to grab a bed. But while we're at it, I think that everyone in the chat... It's a very exciting opportunity we have, which is I want you guys to just spam the chat full of names, because we have 4 allays to name, and if you name one of these allays, that named allay will stay in this world, presumably forever, so you'll actually have that name you picked be part of all these live stream episodes in the future. So get as many names as you can possibly get. And there's not always going to be a lot of sort of opportunities like this. But let's try and just get the chat to just explode with names. And even if I don't end up picking your name, it's still awesome to see all the great suggestions that all of you have come up with. And we have sort of some evidence here of why the allays can be a bit annoying. And oh my goodness, you guys are definitely filling the chat with names up. So thank you for that. Definitely can come up with 4 names. And of course, we have to have 4 different allays. So we'll have to got enough names, and I have lots of options for every single one. So we'll let that go for a minute here, and I'll look through it a little bit later. But I'll just grab a bed here. And look at that, that's amazing. And so basically, we still have some of these cows over here, but what I'll do is I will lock myself in this villager house, and then let's pick some names out of this list. There's still lots of things here. So actually I might let the names go for a little bit longer, there's just so many here. So we'll just keep going through that. And let's grab this wheat, since we have this hoe. Hoes are the best tools for wheat, and you could even see right there that's true because I instantly mined it. So let's do that. And there are still so many names here. It'll be very, very hard to get the right name, but I can see some ones that are sort of sticking out quite a bit in there. It looks like a lot of people are wanting the name Jerry, which is interesting, or Jeffrey. So maybe we'll name one of them that. What I'll do is I'll type this down in the chat. So we'll have one, let's see, we'll have one named Jerry. I'm not sure if someone spelled it like that or not, but we'll have one named Jerry, not like that. We'll have Jerry like this. We'll have one of them named Jerry. And it looks like we have a lot of people saying Paulina. I like that. And we'll go like this. And then, let's see here, we got two more. So we're going to have James Charles. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I find that very humorous. Okay, that's a little bit interesting, actually. Yes, James Charles. We're not going to be naming an alley James Charles. Oh my goodness. I don't remember what happened to James Charles. That was a long time ago that whole thing happened. But anyway, let's see here. We have Bob. I guess a lot of people want Bob, so we'll do Bob as one. And we have one more later name. And we have... Let's see... Someone's saying name it Fish. Let's see, we have... Oh, one more name, gotta pick one more. Let's name it... Someone says naming one of them Loki. I think that's kind of a cool name, so we'll go with that. Okay, you can keep spamming names if you want, but that's all the ones we're gonna do for now. So we have Jerry, Paulina, Bob, and Loki, which is pretty cool. Our inventory is full, which is not as cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back over here, and we're going to eventually head our way back. And I have to be very careful with that fire method. Oh, here's what's great. Those allays are now going to do what I want, and they're going to collect those cow droppings for me, which is awesome. And if the cows would die every time from being lit on fire, I would definitely do that more. And like we have, you know, the achievement there, which is perfect. But even just like one hit, that should eventually die, and then the allays will pick that up, and I don't even have to worry about it. So they are being useful already. But thank you so much for all the names in the chat there, and it's awesome that those 4 names will now be on those allays for the rest of this series. Looks like the allays are unsuccessfully trying to give me those items, so I'll give them a minute to give them to me. I think they're done now. Let's look around. We now have 17 leather, technically 19 because the allays have 2. We're now going to look for any spare bits of sugarcane we can find and go through here and do that. Let's see. Someone says they name their allays after numbers, but in Spanish, like uno, dos, tres. That's kind of a cool idea. It's pretty interesting to have different names for your animals in Minecraft, things like that. So we'll break this, and we'll just head across the water here. It's a good thing, unlike bees, another flying mob in Minecraft, allays are not allergic to water. So we'll just go across here, and we'll break that. And someone said, when do I stream? Well, I'm streaming right now. But more realistically, I stream once a week at this point. I started somewhat frequently, about a month now I've been doing it. And it's once a week on Saturday at 12 noon EST, or that's 9 a.m. PST. I forget what that is in UTC, but you can do the conversion there, and it's the same time for about 3 hours. Sometimes I'll do longer. Sometimes I went for 5 hours once, so we'll see what I can do today, but at least for 3 hours. That goes from noon to 3 EST on Saturday. I just lit myself on fire twice in a row, which is very talented, so we'll go through here. We now have 18 leather, so we didn't get a lot from all those. Someone says the only thing they name in Minecraft are the wardens they spawn. It's funny because name tagging a warden doesn't really do a lot to it, as of course they can still despawn. Just because they don't really despawn, they sort of purposely decide to leave. And it's interesting because really the only way of keeping a warden permanently is to have the something that's giving them signals. So let's say an observer chain, or just 2 observers really next to a name tag. That kind of thing can really help a lot. Not seeing any cows here. Suppose I could be very brutal and get horse leather, but I don't think we'll do that. That's a little bit not the best. And we'll go through here and we'll look for any other cows. There could be some over here. I see a group of pigs there. Oh, there's a bunch of cows. Looks like almost 2 generations of them, or 2 spawn groups of them, or what do you want to call it? Because sort of mobs will spawn in groups. And so because of that, we can have here a group of 3 cows, 4 cows, something like that. There's not usually one at once that generates in, so we will not burn the allay there, which would be disastrous, so we'll get the allay. The great thing about the allay, and it's very smart, is that you cannot hit the allay if... This is a very quick cow, but you cannot hit the allay, so if I try and hit it, actually it just does not work. You can see there, just does not work at all, doesn't even knock back even with a sword. They're completely invulnerable, which is awesome, because although friendly fire is sort of an interesting feature in video games, I think that the problem with the allay is just that it would be very, very difficult to not kill it instantly, more or less, when you're flying around with it. And I think that we're out of hunger here, actually, so we'll do that. Looks like the allays are going to pick that up for me, so I guess I don't have to worry too much. And it looks like this... Let's actually see if the cow does fully die just from being lit on fire, because if it does, we could literally just wait for the allays to grab the items from it, and it does not, unfortunately. So we're going to be careful with that. And now we have those items. And we now have 23 leather, which is really close to how many we need. So we can go like this. Someone says you can split allays with amethyst. You can duplicate allays with amethyst for sure. However, this world is basically for no reason whatsoever. It's in 1.19.0, so I'd have to upgrade the version to do that, because that's in 1.19.1. But definitely it's a really great feature to duplicate the allays, and once I've upgraded the world to that, then we should definitely do that, maybe get an allay army or something, and we can have one for every single item or something like that, which would be pretty cool. And someone said a cool thing about the allay is that you only need 1 allay to split them. And that is definitely true. I really do like that feature of the allays, is that because of them only needing 1 allay to reproduce there, it's sort of an interesting mechanic that we don't usually have in the game. And I think it's awesome to sort of vary the ways that different alien creatures, you could get more of them, because I think that's just not only more realistic, but it also has more mechanics in the game, and I'm always in favor of adding more mechanics to Minecraft and sort of having every mob and every item have a lot of unique uses there. So we now have 25 leather, that's very close to enough. And I guess we'll just keep looking around here. We could probably head back and find them on our way back, but we'll find out. We go up this mountain and sort of go around there like that. Sort of our long trek here through the plains biome, but at the end of the day, it's pretty good. Someone says people watch my videos and drop their own tips and tricks in the chat or in the comments. That's definitely true, but I think it's a cool thing because not only does it build the community up of people all trying to help each other with Minecraft, but it's also nice because they can add additional things to the video. Of course, I can't cover everything in a video. It's just would take too long. So it's always nice to have additional information there as well, sort of just adding more to make the video more useful, of course. And it's always great to just have everyone to learn as much about Minecraft as possible. So we're going to go up here and we're going to try and, let's see, we're going to try and find some more cows. Now, let's see what we have in our inventory so far. We have a decent amount of stuff, nothing crazy, but let's take a look here. So we're basically full on our inventory. Nothing really of note, but let's take a look around here. And we can hopefully try and find some more cows, some more things like that. Drink some water there. And we can have a water break there. Let's take a look. So we have pumpkins. We don't need those. Although it's interesting to see that. We'll go around here. We do have sheep, but of course those don't drop leather. I don't think sheep in real life either have leather, although I don't really know. I mean, of course, you know, leather is like cow's skin or something like that, I think. But I don't think sheep, like, I don't think you can have sheep leather in real life, but I guess I wouldn't know, so we'll go through here. We'll try and look for anything else. It could definitely be up the mountain there. Although because I've gone this way a couple times, there's also definitely a chance of them potentially having that. And someone asked a really great question in the chat I'd love to answer. And it says, why don't you play with texture packs? Well, I found a lot of people do play with texture packs. The majority don't, as far as I'm aware, but definitely a lot of people do that. And I would say personally the reason why I don't play with texture packs, and it's actually the same reason why I don't really play with plugins or anything like that, or you know, mods or whatever, is just that although sometimes it's cool to feature mods or talk about mods, you know, to the game, I think that at the end of the day, something that I really enjoy is trying to make my videos as applicable to everyone as possible. And even something like a texture pack, it can be hard to see which item is which, especially if you don't have an amazing idea of what every item looks like, maybe some rare items. So to me, it's not only about just enjoying Minecraft exactly as it is, but it's also about sort of really trying to make it as accessible as possible for everyone and making sure all the information is really clear. So we have some pigs here and some sheep, but I do not see any cows, which is kind of annoying. We're so close to getting enough leather, and we've already killed a decent amount of sheep, or a decent amount of cows. I mean, we could always go rogue and get some horse leather, but I don't think it's really a cool thing to do, so we'll go through here. Maybe later on we could get some horses. Someone says, do I believe in Bigfoot? I have no idea. We'll go through here. There's definitely no Bigfoot in Minecraft, I can tell you that much. Go through here, let's see, we have a bunch more sheep, honestly, no cows, which is annoying. I mean, I think having sheep in a meadow biome makes a lot of sense. There's even some rabbits, that's kind of cool looking. But there should be some cows here as well. And we have a super chat from Dave Mason that says, the Minecraft Horse Lives Matter Association says, thank you for not slaying horses for leather. Alright, well, I definitely sometimes have, to be honest, killed horses for leather before, but I think that, you know, at the end of the day, it's generally smarter not to, just because they don't drop a lot of it anyway. And so, you know, I tend to do it just for that, and also that if you're trying to get an amazing horse, oftentimes randomly taming a bunch of them can be smart. So I still do not see any horses or any cows. We'll take one more little look around here and then we'll go back, or we could even go right through the mountains. We're almost halfway there already. I just don't think we're of much of a higher chance of getting cows there either. I suppose they could generate in this forest. We could sort of look around through here a little bit, sort of on our way back anyway, but I don't want to take too much time doing that, so we'll do that. And there goes the wardens or the allays in front of us. I was supposed to say the wardens. It'd be very interesting if allays and wardens switched places in Minecraft. You had these massive flying around wardens that were picking up your items for you, and then in the deep dark you would summon the ferocious allay that would like one hit kill you. It'd almost be more scary in that sense because it looks so opposite to what it is. That'd be quite a funny modification to the game, is changing those two things. But I'm seeing no animals in this forest, which is quite frustrating. But we'll go through here and we'll look anyway. Of course, we have some nice music as well, which always makes it even more interesting. So there's some sheep here. It means we have equal chance to get ourselves cows. We even have a chicken. There's a good sign. It's not really a good sign. Doesn't really mean anything, but, you know, we could always potentially find something. So we'll keep going through here. Always nice to explore a bit anyway. And we have a beehive. I thought I remember seeing some cows around here a while ago when I was going back from dying. There's actually some dogs there, and we have a singular bone. So let's see if we can get really lucky, because if we can get really lucky, then we will have a dog. So let's see. This is always interesting to try, because sometimes I do get it. You don't usually need a whole lot of bones to do this kind of thing. So let's see if we can do this. And we're going to pick this lucky dog. And are you going to become my pet instantly? You're not, so you are not going to be my pet. But you got your bone at least, so hopefully you're happy. And let's see what we can do. I think also a funny thing would be if allays could pick up mobs, and you could sort of give them a mob to pick up, and they'd be grabbing them and moving them around, and it'd be quite a funny visual. Yeah, we're actually fairly close to our house, so we'll just walk back the mountain way, and hopefully look for more mobs on our way there. Try and find them. I might turn on hitboxes just so we will have a bigger chance of potentially seeing them if they are around. Like down there, it's a pig, but there's some cows right down there. So what we'll do is we'll head down here and we can get those cows finally. So maybe just on our way back, we'll be able to get just enough leather in time, which is pretty cool. So we'll go this direction. Here's a great question for everyone. What's your favorite biome inside of Minecraft? You can just put it in the chat there, and I'd be interested to know that, because I found that people ask me a lot on these streams what my favorite biome is. What's all of your favorite biomes? It'd be quite interesting to find out. As of course Minecraft has so many different biomes with so many different opportunities and resources for each, it'd be cool to know all that. So we're going to kill this cow here. And we've got actually quite a bit more leather. We have 28 now. We'll get this cow over here without killing our lays, hopefully. Let's hope you're a lucky cow and give us lots, and you gave us no leather, which is unfortunate. Let's try and find one more cow around here. I think I heard one, maybe not. So we'll keep going through here, but I think that was a good method, turning on the hitboxes. Well, there's another cow. In fact, there's two more, so that just by pure statistics should be enough, but we'll see if these cows are going to follow statistics or not. And that was very dangerous. Those allays nearly lit on fire. That cow was unlucky and did not give us any leather, which is unfortunate. So we'll go over here and we'll try and find the other cow that I saw, which was just around here. I can't really see it. So funny inside of the Minecraft forest how, especially the standard forest biome, which is a very, very old biome in the game, that it's sort of hard to see between the trees, so sometimes it almost looks like there's a player or something through the trees, which is quite an interesting effect. And that cow was very greedy as well and did not give us any leather, which is unfortunate. Someone says, guys, put it on 2x speed. You cannot put it on 2x speed because it is a live stream, although if you're watching this on the replay, I suppose you are, you would be able to do that. So let's go through here. And sometimes I'll watch a lot of videos on 2x speed. I'd be interested if any of you like watching videos on 2x speed or not as well. Some people like, maybe 1.25 speed, 1.5 speed. And I found it depends on it a lot. Definitely something like music I would never listen to on 2x speed, just because the audio quality loss sort of makes it not really worth it. But still, it can be kind of interesting to get information a bit faster. Although sometimes it can be hard to understand all the words as well, I found. So may as well grab some cocoa beans. We don't have any. We just have to throw an item like this egg. So we got a chicken, so we probably should have kept that egg, although I suppose, we're not guaranteed to get a chicken from every egg. There's another egg up there. So we'll go over here. Lots of chickens too if we want to make a chicken farm later. I remember being to that ruined portal a while ago. It's kind of interesting. There is also a chance for things like cows in the jungle, although I don't think it's as high of a chance. Or maybe just because it's more dense, it's hard to see them. But our base is basically up here, so we're just going to kind of go through this ravine here, and this ravine should lead us to our base eventually. If we can, let's go through it successfully anyway. We should even be able to see our base actually from here. Let's see if we can. We can see our base. You can see all the way up there. It's kind of cool. You can see the wall of the base there on the mountainside. Is pretty cool. So good thing I didn't climb up the other mountain, because that would have taken far too long. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll go over here. And someone said that they really like the dark oak wood. And actually, it just reminds me, half the reason I went down here is to grab logs, so I should definitely grab that before I come back up. So what I'll do is I'll go over to those logs there, and we'll grab them. So good thing I remembered that. Someone says I still have to punch the warden. I got very close to the warden. I think I touched the warden at one point. But I guess that's still a challenge in this world, is to eventually punch the infamous warden. Let's go over here. Our boots actually have feather falling too, which is kind of a nice little benefit, so we lose just a little bit less health when we're doing this kind of thing. Put down a chest with all of our useless items, just sort of things we have no real need for. This has been a trip that's a lot longer than I thought it would end up being. But let's chop down this tree. And someone said, what is my favorite block? That's a good question. I guess it would depend if it's for building or functionality or something like that. Maybe I found that the crying obsidian is quite a nice block in terms of visuals and how it works, but I'm not sure if that would be my favorite or not. Certainly in terms of building, I found concrete is a nice thing to build with. I like building with spruce logs, mostly just because they're easy and they have like a nice amount of color to them, where sometimes with birch it's sort of difficult to see edges and stuff, and I found that with spruce you can outline things really well, especially since the darkness actually of the bark on the spruce I believe is darker than even dark oak, so the mixture between the planks there and the logs has a lot of contrast for being the same wood type, which is quite useful. Someone says they went back to watch my Duo Hardcore series. Yeah, that was about a year ago actually, now that I think about it. That's quite interesting. Yeah, I made that with a friend. It was sort of a very simple series, very much, not very much edited, but yeah, it's not horribly cringy. It's pretty cringy though compared to what I make now, but if anyone's interested in that, I'm sure you can find the link to the playlist there under my playlists page, and that was in the 1.18 snapshots. So in the first generation in, we sort of got some strange terrain generation and stuff. The first sort of tests of the terrain generation in 1.18 were very, very strange. So you got some very weird looking things that generate there. With something you did initially actually was that little bits of micro mesa biome would sort of generate around the world, which I have no idea why they did that, and it looked very ugly. I think the idea was just that in real life there's sort of clay deposits in a lot of different places, and so maybe the idea is because of that, it would be more realistic to sort of have those generate around. And if I can actually get up this mountain here, one thing that's a benefit, in fact, let me just turn my simulation distance up a bunch, even though it'll lag, because now hopefully our sugarcane is growing as we chop down these trees, but see, someone says they like the dark oak for pillars. Dark oak is definitely a nice wood type. A long time ago I made an entire building that was almost entirely out of dark oak. I must have used maybe at least 100 stacks of it. It was definitely a very large amount. I'm not sure of the exact number. I remember I would fill up an entire shulker box full, then I'd have to go all the way back and fill up another shulker box and just sort of keep repeating that process. But at least dark oak is fairly easy to get, especially if you chop it down from a dark oak forest. Of course, growing it's a little bit more difficult because you have to have the 4 saplings instead of 1. But overall it's pretty good. And we already have quite a bit of logs here, but because of how quickly we've been using it up before, we'll get a couple more. Someone says when they played the Minecraft Legacy Edition on Xbox, they loved playing the Disc of Dog. That's a really great thing actually to think about, is that in the Minecraft Legacy console, which of course is Xbox as well as PS3, and I believe Wii U, although I'm not sure if it exactly works the same on the Wii U, the cat music disc after that music disc would play a second track about the same length called Dog. If you look up C418 Dog, you can listen to that track as well. It's definitely quite an interesting one, and sort of very similar to Cat. I believe there was something where it was supposed to be a unique Easter egg to Legacy console, and for whatever reason they just never added it to the Bedrock Edition. I think there was some sort of reason why, but I forget. But certainly if you're ever on Legacy console or you just want to look it up, the music disc of Dog is certainly a very, very interesting thing. And I definitely like the sound of it too, probably more than Cat, although I certainly like both those songs a lot, and I've certainly been saying certainly a lot. Let's see. Someone says, what block would you not realize was gone if it was gone without notice? I guess I would assume maybe one of the glazed terracottas, something that's not really going to generate naturally that much. Something else you might not notice for a long time is, let's say, like, you know, if you're really early game, like a netherite block, you wouldn't notice till you get it. But in terms of something that you could, you know, technically never encounter, there's some sort of strange variants of different blocks, like let's say a, you know, red sandstone slab or something, you know, where it's going to be fairly uncommon that you're going to run into that at any point early game unless you're in a mesa. And so because of that, it might take a couple 100 hours to make a red sandstone slab. So something like that, I would say, just the least possible item that you'd be able to run into. And I've now broken our axe, so we'll just finish this tree manually, and then we will go up the mountain there and we will get our full enchanting setup as long as the sugarcane is grown. and someone says I should eat them at 4 hunger down, and I will do that. Sometimes I'm a little bit bad about not eating the food in time. Well, it doesn't matter too much unless you're in combat, but if you are in combat, something that's really important to remember is to always eat if you're hungry. Something I found is almost always the cause of death in a lot of worlds is that people are not eating when they should. And for instance, I've seen some different videos of hardcore deaths or even just deaths in standard survival, and the issue is oftentimes that when they're fighting a mob, they don't realize they can actually, at least in Java Edition, because regenerating health is slower in Bedrock, they can regenerate their health quicker than they can lose it, depending on the mob, or at least quick enough that taking the time to pause and eat that golden carrot or that pork chop or whatever else is definitely the better choice than just running away wildly. And we'll go through here. And let's see here. So we're going to get the rest of this log. Someone says, what do they think the easiest tree is to farm? Also interesting question. I do have a tree farming guide I made quite a while ago now. It was, I think, January maybe of this year. But in there I was talking about them all. I think personally spruce is the easiest, although honestly almost any wood type is easy as long as you have a lot of saplings. Some people think that mangrove wood is really difficult, but I actually have a separate tree farming guide just for mangrove, as of course my other tree farming guide was made before mangrove was even in the game. And I talk in that farming guide about this really efficient way of getting mangrove where you plant the propagules next to each other, and you can get it basically as quickly as any other wood in the game, maybe even quicker, some would say, than let's say birch or oak or things like that. So let's go up here, and we're going to try and grab any of those saplings that dropped. I know we'll miss most of them probably, but still gathering some of them can be good. I suppose it would be really smart to do, instead of just sort of randomly trying to find them, is to give an allay one of these saplings, and then it can collect them for me. So that'd be probably a really good idea. We'll do that, and look, it's already flying away trying to grab them, so that was great. I suppose if I was getting any other wood types around here, we could also do that. It's already dropped me some saplings, which is awesome, so definitely that's a really great thing to do if you're tree farming, is to make sure to have an allay to grab saplings for you. But now we're going to go back up the mountainside, which I believe is this mountain here. I don't actually remember, I don't want to go down the wrong one. But I believe it's this one. Because I remember seeing... Well, actually, no, it's not, because there's not the... Here's a question. Let's see here. I don't think it's this one, because I don't remember there being jungle on it. I'm pretty sure it's this mountain, so we'll figure that out. There's that easy water to go down as well, so we'll do that. But they are giving me lots and lots of those saplings. That's awesome. So let's go up here, and let's find our house again. And maybe we can even make that nether link from the bottom of the mountains to the top of it somewhat soon, as of course going up here is always a bit of a frustration. So we can probably even see from here, I know that is the wrong mountain, there is our house right there. Good thing we don't have to go up very high up, so it's not a real big issue. Someone says, which Minecraft day am I on? That's a great question. I'm on day 65, and basically all of those are on the stream. Literally the only thing I've done off stream here is I had sorted my inventory a bit, and I think that's it. So basically all this has been on stream. If anyone's interested, I do have all the streams I've made on my channel right now. I'll make a playlist of that maybe after this stream, and you can check all those out. I believe this is the 4th stream in the Survival Live series. Hope you're all enjoying it, and be sure to like the video if you are, as it'll help it reach more people. Be sure to subscribe as well if you haven't already. I mean, I'm assuming most people watching are subscribed, but if you're not, why not subscribe? It definitely helps out a lot, and you can actually catch the rest of these streams and not only see what I've done so far, but also see what I'll be doing in the future for these. So it's definitely some big benefits to subscribing, especially if I'm streaming quite a bit, which I think once a week is a decent amount. Someone says, have I ever played a mod? I've definitely played mods before. I just have never found Minecraft mods to be that interesting to me. I think that, you know, to me I find that the base game has so much to it already. I'd like to just become as good about that as possible, to be the most skilled at standard Minecraft, but I have nothing necessarily against modded Minecraft at all. I just personally prefer the vanilla experience. And it looks like we're getting a lot of subscription notifications, so thank you to everyone who's subscribing now who wasn't already. I really appreciate that. Let's see here. Someone says Alt F4 for health boost. Yes, that's very true, I'm sure. Actually, Alt F4 will make your game close instantly. And of course, because of that, you can sometimes lose progress. So what it is now time to do, after we're done getting our inventory sorted out, is it is time to name these allays. And I still have the names saved right here. So we're going to name those, which is going to be really cool. So let's get all of our logs here. That's a great supply of logs. We've got all of those items here. Again, always a little bit annoying to get everything sorted out after a big mining trip, a big adventure, all these sort of things that you come back with a lot of items from. But I think that at the end of the day, certainly having a sorted inventory and a sorted area is going to definitely overcome any issue of it taking a lot of time to do. And this shouldn't even take that much time, really. Let's go through here and finish sorting all of this. It's cool because we already have an enchanted golden apple here and one over here because of the ancient city we raided a while ago. I definitely encourage everyone to check out different parts of the live stream from this one, but also the previous ones. What's so great about checking out these live streams is you can always sort of skip through them and try and find a point that you find most interesting. Then maybe check me out when I am raiding, let's say, the Deep Dark, or maybe when I'm making a farm or something that you find the most interesting. It's always a cool thing about that is you can sort of customizably decide what part of the video you'd like to see. So that's mostly everything sorted out. I guess we could put away these tripwire hooks. I have no idea where they would go. I guess I'll just put them in here. This is sort of like miscellaneous, somewhat treasure items. We'll do that. But that's basically everything sorted. So now we have to make an anvil, because we do not have one currently. I hope I have enough iron for that, actually. I should. Maybe not. That'd be really unfortunate if I didn't. If I don't, what I'll do is I will put some name tags up. But actually, hold on. I did name this. Oh, no, I didn't name it. I did put a sign. I'll put signs up for the allays at least. And as soon as we have the enchanting power, but I think I do have an anvil. Maybe not. It's always hard to remember across lots of Minecraft worlds, but let's look at our total iron supplies, because I think I might have put some of the iron in the wrong chest earlier. We'll test that for sure. We'll check that. I don't think we did, so no, we unfortunately do not have enough iron for an anvil, but I guarantee you I will name those allays the second that we do. So what we'll do, so we do not forget those names, is I'll just put down some signs for those. So we'll put them up on the wall here next, maybe to the enchanted golden apple. The first name we have is Jerry, so we'll put that. And if you're just coming onto the live stream and wondering about this, earlier on in the live stream we had everyone deciding what the name of the allays could be, and after a massive amount of comments, which I really appreciate, we came up with the names of Jerry, Paulina, Bob, and Loki, which I think are great names for allays. And I'll make this one be Bob, and then we'll have this one be Loki right here. And of course, once we get those name tags, we can do that. Something we could do to make the black text on the dark oak be more visible is we could turn this into white dye. We could do that. Very interesting Minecraft fact, actually. There was a point in the snapshots where they were thinking of having the default text on Minecraft signs to be white. And it's actually funny because on the pixel art here you can see of the sign item, there is white text on it. So it's sort of like they already expect you to do that. I'm not sure why they couldn't have the dark oak signs only have, let's say, the defaulted white text. But I guess I just wanted to keep sort of a continuity across that. Let's merge these shovels here and we'll get all this together. So we have our 3 baked potatoes and steak. And basically, I guess this next step is to, well, go to sleep first, but it'll be to get that sugar cane. Once we've got that sugar cane, then what we can do is we can then try and grab the rest of the items we need. So all the allays are up there. That is, I've discovered an allay trap. You can see the allay trap. I actually have to remember that. That's like actually very, very effective. I'll have to do some research into that later, but that is how you make an allay trap, everyone. If you're wondering, have a trapdoor at the top of a big ladder, and they will get trapped there very, very quickly. So I have no idea if our sugarcane farm has grown whatsoever. Looks like that zombie is surviving along this singular block of plank, which is very impressive, actually. So let's see here. We also have a creeper. It does not look like any of the sugarcane has grown, which is very unfortunate. But the good news is that we do have this farm. And so that... Oh, that wasn't good. It's probably I slid on the ice. I couldn't run away fast enough. But the good news is we kind of still have this farm. I say we have the farm and it gets blown up, so probably shouldn't have spoken too early there, but we basically have the farm. And so you know, we can do that. That's pretty funny, actually. What I'll do then is I will grab all of the sugarcane that we currently have, and I'll grab some other supplies, and we'll just expand that sugarcane farm to the full size, and then once it grows, we'll totally have enough stuff. But what we can do is we can check for any paper we have so far. We can also count out to make sure we do have enough leather, and we could also potentially look into some other ways of upgrading our materials and stuff. Definitely the stream did not go 100% as planned, but I think that so far we've still been doing pretty good. So let's take a look here. I guess we'll need a water bucket that actually works, although we can just grab the water from up there. We'll need some ladders or some other block to waterlog those. We could use these slabs, I guess, that's probably fine. And we'll need to grab all the sugarcane that we have already, which is not a lot, just 19 there. And of course some dirt to actually plant the sugarcane on. So we'll do that and we'll finish that, and I guess maybe some extra snow blocks too to patch up what the creeper exploded there. And that should be our full sort of sugarcane fixing kit there. So speaking of kits, actually, inside of Minecraft, a very interesting thing that I've seen people do before, and I think it's a really good idea, is if you're late game Minecraft, you have a lot of materials and you're always grabbing different ones of them, but you have an issue. Something really cool you can do is you can have different shulker boxes in your inventory, where different ones will have, let's say, you know, one of them might have a beacon, one of them might have all of your food, one of them might have something else as well. And we have 2 super chats. The first one says, the seed Eyecraftmc spawns you on a zombie spawner. I'll have to check that out later. That's pretty cool. Not sure if that's Bedrock or Java, but I'll check it out on both. And we have a second super chat, which says... Oh boy, that's funny. It says they're scared to stand up, so that's hilarious. Anyway, be very careful when you're standing up, yes. Let's go around here, and we're going to place this block right here, and then we have the water flowing down. We do have the waterlogged slabs. I guess we'll have to grab our water source, but again, a great trick to do if you have the ability is we can break this, grab that, and of course if you have ice, ice is always great for getting a water source from. And this is sort of a very strange sugarcane farm concept, but again it does work very well. So those 2 water are actually definitely in the wrong position. I don't know why I thought this was the right place to put the water. It is not. We have to put the water one over, but technically having that water flow actually makes a sugarcane farm better, because then we get some more of the snow cleared out. It looks a little bit nicer. So we're going to pick up that water, as it's a little bit harder to get in this design, finish all this up, and of course it's snowing, which is kind of cool. It's on top of the mountain there. Let's see here. We have the Nether song, which is completely inappropriate for snowing. I think this is a little bit more of a kind of wintry song. I don't really know if there's any truly wintry sounding songs inside of Minecraft. That's actually something I'd love to see Mojang work on, is if they ever do an update that revolves around snowy biomes, add some vaguely wintry, Christmassy sort of sounding instrumental songs would be really cool. Like, I forgot to put the slabs in these new water sources, because I'm not usually building up where it's incredibly cold, but always important to do that, is to make sure to waterlog your water blocks if you're in a cold area. This will 100% prevent them from freezing. So I can just place that there. And we have here a block right here we can work on. So we'll put that there, and we'll put our water down like this. And we can, that's the wrong place. It's funny, I think it's placing it on top of a snow layer, and so that's why it's going up higher. Of course, this will go around here and clear all of that. So we'll finish this up. We only have 4 more sugarcane to plant, which is actually perfect. So we can plant that, let's see here, the best place. There's already more sugarcane growing too, which is awesome. So this farm is definitely working for sure. We'll maybe put the last one right here. I guess the water would go here, or maybe go here. I think one water would go right here, so we'll surround that in dirt, and that does look correct. So we'll grab some water. We'll make sure all these things, like this isn't waterlogged, so we'll make sure to waterlog these things correctly. I suppose it would look better if they were all waterlogged with an upward slab, sort of like this. But it doesn't really matter at all at this point. This is just a sort of makeshift sugarcane farm, and we may as well collect what we have so far in terms of that. And that really scared me for a second there, actually. We could always make these allays more useful for the sugarcane farming as well, and we could actually give them each a piece of the sugarcane, and that could help out quite a bit. So we technically have enough paper to make ourselves 2 books. Well, that's not going to help very much, but we do technically have that. Someone says that command blocks can be obtained from water, sand, wool, and an anvil, which is not true, but command blocks are definitely an interesting item to have, although there's definitely no way of obtaining them in survival. Let's see here, so we are going to eat some of this amazing steak that we collected earlier. I should probably save some of it later, just because of the fact that we don't have a cow farm, so if we want to get some later, we'll definitely have to keep that around. And we have a huge super chat from NedMac624 for $20, which says, "Absolutely love your content, keep up the great work, man." Well, thank you so much for that, I absolutely appreciate it, and I definitely will keep it up. Let's see here, we have a lot on us, so what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to take a look at all the items that we currently have, and come up with a plan of the best way of using them. Now, we have a decent amount of stuff. We have this piglin here, actually. I suppose mining some more iron would be good. We could always look around the hilltops for iron, try and get the quest to get that anvil. We could name those allays. That could be a good idea for sure. In fact, if we can make our way over here to that exposed mountain there, the stony peaks, there'll be a lot of exposed iron there. So if we can do that, we're going to do our quest to get the iron, and I definitely think that it's awesome that the stony peaks are a biome in the game that are so useful in terms of getting iron. Really a great biome for that, so we're going to do that. I think getting the names for those allays is quite important, so we're going to go over there and grab that. And again, we'll just see what we can do overall through all this. So let's see, it looks like we actually can't get to that easily. I thought it was closer. It's annoying. We could always look around here for some more exposed stone. Actually, I think there's a cave around here, so we'll look for that. Sort of like a small exposed bit of mountain. Yeah, there's some iron right there. It's actually funny, it's snowing right here in about 4 blocks, because there's no snow cover here, and it's technically low enough to be a dripstone cave, so that's rather funny. And of course, we don't need much iron to get this anvil, which is awesome, so we can go through here. We already have 4 iron. We can go through here. And there's another bit here. There's an emerald ore, but of course not a lot of use to that. There might even be some iron ore right next to my base, as I haven't been trying to get it. And we have another super chat from the Fire Phoenix, which says, 4:51 a.m. I think I should go to sleep. I definitely think you should go to sleep here. Sleep is very important, especially if you're up that late. Let's go over here. And it looks like there might be some iron over here, of course. Mining iron on mountains and mining coal on mountains is actually the most efficient way of doing it. In Minecraft 1.19 it absolutely is, so it's kind of a cool thing about that, is you have this really great source of those items. And in fact, here's some more iron here too as I speak about it. We don't need much, we might even already have enough, so we'll keep looking a bit. We'll grab, in fact, there's some more there and here, which is perfect, so we'll definitely be able to name those allays before the end of the stream. We'll go over here and we'll mine this. And for anyone who's just joining on or hasn't seen it so far, I have a bunch of social medias, and be sure to follow me on those. I have a Twitter, Eyecraft_MC. Something very exciting that I can only hint about, but there's certainly some good things coming up, is on my Discord server. I have some things planned which will involve ways in which my viewers can actually make it into videos. And so if you want to make it into an Eyecraftmc video, join the Discord server and just be aware of any announcements on there, and that is all you need to do to be more or less signed up for that. And we'll go back to Minecraft here, and we have another super chat that says that if a sand block, anvil, and water hits a wall at the same time, it creates the code of the command block, which is a very interesting thing that is not true, but it would be funny if that was true. Sometimes I wonder, because Minecraft is such a big game, I mean, of course, because of the way that coding works, people can just look at the code and see everything in the game, but there is the possibility, of course, for strange things like that to work, although, of course, that wouldn't work, but, there are certain things where, let's say, for an example, you know, maybe placing blocks in a certain pattern would actually, you know, would do something crazy like that. You wouldn't really be able to know if no one's done it before. So it's kind of funny like that, and it almost reminds me a bit of the Minecraft update they did a while ago for the April Fools of, maybe it was 2020? I think it was 2020, and it was where there was like infinite dimensions, and most of the dimensions just had weird random stuff, but I think there was maybe 20 or 30 of them that actually had specific things that they sort of added in to be really funny. And so it's interesting because sort of in that same way, people wouldn't know about those special things until they found them. And, you know, there might technically be something really special like that hiding in Minecraft. In fact, I can't find a tweet for it anymore, but I believe it was Heinrich Nyberg or one of these developers. And he was saying that it might not have been him, but it was one of them. And they were saying that they had hid a special secret inside of the basalt deltas, like a small little piece of generation that would happen here and there that was some kind of massive Easter egg. And I'm not sure if they were joking or not. They said they weren't, but it'd be interesting. I don't think anyone ever found it. And of course, it might be just something simple like maybe a small smiley face or something that would generate randomly. But since then, every time I'm in a basalt delta, I always look around to see if I can find anything weird looking. So kind of interesting things like that to think of the deep secrets that could potentially be inside the game. Someone says, in my opinion, what is the best update? I think one of my favorite updates was the update Aquatic, but the Nether update was very, very similar, where they took a massive part of the game that everyone experienced a lot, and they made it much better. I think that if there was an end update, I'm sure it'd be very similar. Again, taking a very barren and sort of empty place and turning it into a place there's actually a lot of potential and a lot of things to do, but of course we'll have to see if they actually do that or not. Let's go over here, and let's go over here as well. And also someone was saying congrats on almost reaching 200k, and thank you so much. I hope that by the next term I'll be at 200k. Maybe we can do a special 200k live stream celebration, and maybe look over some of my videos, play on Hypixel, do some different things like that. That could be really cool for a 200k live stream, and if people would be interested in that, just tell me in the comments there if a 200k live stream is interesting to you or not, because if it is, I definitely do want to do something like that. Let's see, around here we have put away the cobblestone, and I guess we'll just let that stuff smelt, but we can work on making this furnace or this anvil as we wait. We can also collect those name tags. We do have 6 name tags, which is great. Normally I would not be naming all these items or all these mobs, but thankfully because I do have these name tags, we can do that. I guess the first step should actually be finding those allays, because sometimes they'll sort of disappear. I want to make sure that they're not all gone. So there's one there. There's not really anywhere they could have died. They're probably just up here. There's one more. I'm sure I can eventually find them all. But I'm not sure if I can get them to all follow me if I do something specific. They do tend to be sort of getting stuck. I mean, I could always throw the items that they're trying to collect. But I guess we'll just go to them one by one and sort of name them as we find them once we have those name tags. So let's get the rest of these ingots. Let's make 3 of the blocks, and we actually have just enough to make an anvil. So there is our first anvil. You can tell because we actually had the achievement for it, or the recipe unlock for it. We'll place that right here, and we'll name the first one. We'll name the first one Jerry, and we'll put that right there, as that's the first name I picked, like this, and we won't name any of them just yet. The second one is Bob. I guess actually I probably should not be doing this because we have 34 levels, but we'll just go back in the Deep Dark and get those later. We'll get Paulina, just like this. And it's kind of cool that you can, of course, name tags in the anvil, and you can actually name any item in the anvil, which is quite an interesting fact of the game. And of course, unlike, let's say, certain things where, let's say you couldn't have an enchantment on any item, although you can if you're in creative, with the anvil you can certainly have name any item you want. It could name, my tools, but I could even name, a coal block or something. So this one will be Paulina. This one will be Jerry. I just want to make sure not to double name them, or that would be quite a waste. They actually might have flown to the Nether now that I think about it. In fact, I think that one's literally about to... Okay, we now know where they've gone. That is where the allays have gone. They've flown into the Nether, so we'll go there and we'll grab the rest of those allays. I hear a gas too, which is making me not at all comfortable with the current status of those allays' safety. In fact, yes, there's definitely all the allays here, so they're actually fairly safe here if it's unloaded, but this one is unnamed. We will call it Loki, and then I think this one is named, yes it is, and this one is unnamed, and we'll call it Bob. So now we have all the named allays, but we have to get them back through the portal, which is going to be a little bit of an issue. So they might even land in the fire and die, unfortunately. So one of them's holding a stake, I believe. And there's a gas there. Please do not hit the allays. Okay. Let's see here what we can do. Let's just get out of the way of the gas there. If we sort of switch the item that the allays are holding to the stake, then we can lure them through the portal, or lure them through the portal. Where's the third allay? It might have gone right through the portal already. Just hide behind here. If gas can't see you, they won't shoot at you. So let's just put some of the stake here and get the allay to go through. Right through, there we go. And one more. Don't know where that allay is. We'll just put the stake there. I'll get it to fly over. And we will find that. Don't know where the allay went now. I might have gone through as well. I guess we'll check on the other side. And what I'll do is I'll make a special way that the allays will not get stuck next time. Let's find out if the allays went through the portal or not. And we have... Oh no, I forgot about this. Oh no, it's linked wrong. I remember this now. Okay, we do have all three allays here, so they definitely all went through. Because the other one isn't here. So I guess we'll have to go all the way up here back to our base, but that's okay, I guess. We do have like technically a speedy way of getting back. So there's a creeper. Be very careful now. I don't want to lose our allays in any sense. Kind of annoying though of how far up we have to go here. Too bad the allays couldn't, I mean they can fly, too bad they couldn't grab onto me and fly me all the way up there to the top. That would definitely be a cool thing if they could do that, but I do understand that that'd be a little bit overpowered. Let's see here. So which mountain do we have to go up here? I think it's this one, but again, I'm not sure. In fact, it is this one, I believe, yeah. So we'll go up here. In fact, that would make sense, because we should be directly below where our other portal is, just because I believe what it is the Nether is trying to change the portal location based on the height. So that it makes more sense, because there is a weird sort of height correction thing the Nether portals will do sometimes. So we'll go up here, and then what I'll do is I'll block off my portal temporarily, because of course once an allay is on the other side, then we cannot get it back without having to go all the way around the loop, which is of course pretty annoying. So let's go this way. Let's get those allays back, and as people are saying in the comments, I will be the protector of the allays. And some people are saying get your chest. There is a chest down there, but it just has some garbage items in it, so I don't have to, you know, get that too quickly or anything like that. Keep going up here though, we can see this is definitely the right mountain. We have an amazing 1.19 song. Something I'd love to hear everyone's opinion on is, what do you think of the 1.19 and 1.18 music by Lena Raine? Most of the Minecraft music was composed by C418, even the Update Aquatics was, but after that it wasn't, I believe, due to some sort of a copyright disagreement or something like this, but I forget exactly. And because of that we have Lena Raine having the music, and personally I think she's done a really great job. But of course, you know, everyone has different opinions on these sort of things, so I'd be very interested to hear what everyone thinks of Lena Raine's music compared to C418's. Let's go through here and we'll block that. We can actually capture the allays potentially in a boat. That could be a good thing to do for now, although it's not perfect. Then eventually we can get them out safely, but for now it gives us that sort of flexibility to do stuff with them. So I only see two right now, which is a little bit worrying, but we'll put some stake there and hopefully they'll get that allay. That was like instant allay capture. That's amazing. We now know exactly how to capture allays. I know there's all four of them. That's hilariously quick, actually. Literally just a little trick, put your stake in a boat or whatever the item is they're grabbing, and they will instantly get stuck in that boat. That's funny. I guess I got in the boat, so of course it messed it up that time, but see if they'll get in that time. Yeah, there we go. And we have now all of our allays captured, although they're not sitting very comfortably, I must say. So that's a little bit funny, but there's our allay boats there, which is pretty cool. And certainly cool to have all these different things happening. So let's see here. We now have our piglin in the boat, and we have these two allay boats, and of course you can't really see the names for whatever reason. But the allay names are Jerry, Paulina, Bob, and Loki, and maybe we'll give them unique items so we can remember which is which. Let's put our stone away in here and our coal and all this. And you know, we haven't been able to do everything we wanted, but I feel like next episode we can jump into the enchanting even more. And potentially do some other things that'll really help us level up. But anyway, that is going to be the end of this stream, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I should be streaming every single week at the same time, so that's noon EST. I would really suggest right after the stream here to jump into my Discord server, join everyone talking about the stream on there. It's an amazing Discord server, and we'll have some events going on there later where you could potentially even feature in a video, so definitely join that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one, and have a great day. And a goodbye from me, and goodbye from all of our LAs, and of course, I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday.